What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, April 8th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. It was a wildly interesting day yesterday. You know, capping is just such a cruel, sexy mistress. You sweep the board in NBA, with the help of our guests in the chat, I've gone down from 23 units to up 4.18 units. A turnaround I'm very proud of. Open the season 2-1 in MLB. My additions were going to be the under 4.5 in the Arizona game and the Dallas Stars. Of course, I got cold feet on the under 4.5 first 5 in the Arizona game, but I moved on the Stars and they lose in overtime. Now they were outshot, and Austin Matthews is playing at an unbelievable level right now. So, but to have a winning day in MLB, sweep the board in NBA, cash the Montreal Canadiens at plus 135, and then get smoked in NHL the rest of the night was very difficult to watch. And watching the Kings-Oilers game and seeing Draisaitl in the lineup and knowing that I was wrong on that idea that he wouldn't have stopped his 354-game Ironman streak if it was a maintenance day, but I guess it was just a maintenance day. So it was a winning day yesterday, and any day in the black is a good day. But not succeeding in the one sport that is the reason why I'm still around. I do not think I would have lasted when I went down in Costa Rica because I took a ton of hate. And those of you who were with me in my first few months remember all the hate I was taking every day. It was because of NHL. I got up 43 units in NHL. The hate started dissipating. Thoroughbreds are my favorite sport, but hockey is, I was on the ice at 3. And to struggle in NHL is really difficult for me. And it's like a worst case scenario, sort of. I mean, I was in the same spot in NBA and NHL, struggling in them. And to completely turn around in NBA and not be able to do that in NHL just drives me fucking batty. But it is opening day for the Toronto Blue Jays. And with the guidance of you guys, I need to know when to make future bets on them. If they go off and win 100 games right now, and I don't get the opportunity to bet a future on them, that's fine. I won't beat myself up. They're the second-ranked team in MLB. That's not a team you bet a future on. So I'll need your help throughout the year. If you think, now's the time to go in for the division, or now's the time for AL, or now's the time for the World Series. I would love to have future bets on the Jays, but we're also trying to succeed, and you just don't do that betting futures on the second-ranked team in the league. I tell you what, though, more than anything else, you guys inspire me enormously, and I enjoy the ridiculous amount of fucking hours it took to try and get a handle on the 5 NHL games, the 13 MLB games, and I believe it's 9 NBA games. And I'm ready to fucking go, man. I'm so ready to go. Baseball is here. I just got to turn it around in NHL. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. We have a huge, huge show on tap. Armchair MMA in the house, small parlay White Sox and the over 8 in the Yankees. There is Nilo says Dutch killed with those plays yesterday. He did. And we only had, so I went 4-0, he went 2-0. We only had one same play, and that was the Spurs. He got him at 8, I got him at plus 7.5. But Dan Kelly got me on that team total over. That felt really good. It felt really good watching NBA yesterday. There's Uncle Oliver in the house. Thank you, Nurk Worker, my guy, Cobra Sports. There's Barry Smith. It's baseball season. Barry Smith is back in business. There is Nut Flush Allen in the house. Are you guys following what Nut Flush Allen is doing on Twitter? You guys. So last night, he put out just the Sabres team total over at plus 125, plus 140. He's been hammering the Dogs team total over when they're a big dog, and it's just cashing. And he's just such a, he's the kind of capper, that I just, love. And he's just selfless. That's what he is. He's selfless. Doesn't ask for anything. Just wants us all to win together. I'm going to put his Twitter handle in the chat. Follow Nut Flush Just a hell of a guy. Inspiring guy. Barry Smith ready to go. Jose Contreras. Okay, we got to get to work. Nate Dogg 420 in the house. Barry Smith is on the Tigers. I've only made one bet in MLB. And haven't moved on anything in NHL. Bobano's going to be joining us here shortly. And haven't moved on NBA. Look, I saw the Pistons at plus 5.5. It opened at 10. I know the Bucks are going to sit a whole bunch of people, and that getting the 5.5 will probably turn into a 1 or 2. It doesn't matter. That doesn't mean I still just was like, you know what? And we're going to talk a lot about beating the line. Dan Kelly says, why do I always feel better when I win? I hear you. Nutflush says, just for your information, Cab and I were going over the no run in the first inning when we were in San Antonio, and after lots of discussion, I moved on a full card AL no score, and the results were 6-1. Holy shit. Dafen, yes, I moved on the Habs, and yes, I should have moved on the over, and that was my only fucking winner in NHL last night. It's just driving me crazy. Jason, I'm only here to hear the Bruins prediction because I already made the bet and want some confidence. I really need them to win. Wow, Jason M. So I can't wait to talk about that game with Bobano. So that's our schedule. We're going to get through the 5 NHL games quickly. Bobano's joining us for all 13 MLB games, and then Wham Bam in the house for NBA. Kelly. Okay. Turnsy in the house. I love you guys. Okay. Oh God. I don't know. I'm very, very hesitant. Okay. I love you guys. Big Show picks in the house. Thank you for joining us. Big Show. Okay. Let's get to work. I would love to give a shout out to all you guys. There's James Russell, man. Quit his job after a huge NCAA basketball season and a 4-1 start to the MLB season. 13-6 to start the week. I love it. Fucking love it. THC is Rizza. D. Jenkins. Spreadsheet play today from Ron Crawford is already in, and it is Colorado. Spreadsheet play today is already in, and it's Colorado. Let me grab that here. We got spreadsheet plays today coming in fast. Fast and heavy. Where is it? God, jeez. I'm a little behind on the spreadsheet play today. Ron Crawford is Colorado -1. Let's get these in here. So this Colorado -1. And the baseball spreadsheet play today is Philadelphia. Nasty Nate, we're going to get through hockey fast, man. You know, it bothers the East Coast guys who want to talk other sports, but the West Coast guys, they just get up. They're just getting up. They're just getting up, you know. Thank you for sharing that with us, Ron Crawford. Nasty Nate's my guy, though. Nasty Nate, if it really does bother you, we can change it. And I love you, Nasty Nate. That's facts. That's facts. You know, Nasty Nate's whole trip to San Antonio, it changed on the cornhole course. It changed on the cornhole course. That's how you know you're running with gamblers. Picks up a quick $100 on the cornhole course. He carries that over. He cashes out in the poker tournament for 1.2K, just under 1.2K. Carries that over. He gets the confidence on the cornhole course. He starts taking it money, starts making fucking money. Nasty Nate in the house. Okay, I love you guys. Trump 1 says, how about those Rangers? Yeah, man, the odds for that Penguins-Rangers game was nuts. There's DJ Big Boss in the house. All right, so let's get right to work. Taint it up. Matty Ice hitting with the taint. James Russell said Blue Jays have lost the last 10 opening days, and we haven't had a real opening day since 2019, and we only have 5 players from that 2019 team. Okay, I'd love to give a shout-out to all you guys because you all deserve it. You all deserve it. You guys inspire all the cappers here that are on camera. You inspire us endlessly, and you make us want to fucking work harder and cash fucking more. And Rusty Kuntz is in. Is Rusty Kuntz in? And the Taint play today is in. Shit, okay, there's just tons of action coming in. Okay, so the Taint play today is Detroit Tigers first 5 at plus 115. He's also on the Brewers -1.5. That's the only bet I did make. I did move on the Brewers -1, but not with confidence, seeing all the cash still on the Cubbies. But we're going to talk all about that. Rusty Kuntz, Jose Altuve over a half single. First Rusty Kuntz of the year. All right. Okay, so I think I've got everybody's action. Yossi over 1.5 points. Cash, the dude's a beast. Great call, Brian. Great call. So we got Taint. We got that. And I did make one future bet. I did put $500. I was thinking about putting a K on it, and I got cold feet. I put $500 on the Giants under 87.5 wins, minus 125. That's the only future bet I have. No, somebody says I miss Swiss Chalet, Jimmy. I need Swiss Chalet. And there's Hunter Engelhart in the house. Hunter, we got to get you on the show this year. Baseball's back, baby. Baseball is back. James Russell says, just wondering if it might be in their head. It won't be. Look, I'm not sitting here saying I'm going to bet the Jays, but it won't be in their head. We have a sold-out shithole stadium that I don't want to go to, but I will take Ella to. We have a sold-out stadium, and we have a bunch of kids and only 5 players from 2019, and a bunch of kids who have no recollection of what happened in prior years, in my estimation. But let's bring on your special guest. We got a lot of work ahead of us right now. We got to work quick. NHL, MLB, and then Wham Bam will be joining us for NBA, because your next guest is the host of our NBA Pub Hub show, the best sports capping show in the business. Please welcome, pride of Hamilton, Ontario, our steel town. And we're black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, just like America's steel town. Please welcome Ian Cameron to the house. Bobano, what's happening, my man?
Yeah, we are black and yellow. Every team now in the city is that way. And finally, someone got a clue years ago when we were the farm team of the Canadians that, hey, even when we were the farm team of the Canadians, maybe red, blue, and white's not the best color to represent the city of Hamilton. And even they transformed that team to black and gold. So, yeah, it's a black and gold steel town. It's like we're Pittsburgh, Canada. Seriously.
And it's a great city to replicate. I've only spent a couple nights in Pittsburgh, but man, I absolutely loved it. We got stayed at Intercontinental.
Bachelor party was there. They couldn't get enough of that.
Oh, really?
Place. Yep.
Well, yeah, we walked to the arena. We saw Marc-Andre Fleury pitch a shutout against the Kings, 3-0. Came back to that bar, the row of bars there. Went to a meatball bar. Ate meatballs and got drunk. I mean, it was heaven. All right, let's get to work. There's Dutch Boy fresh off of sweeping 2-0 yesterday in NBA. What a star Dutch is, man. He's like guy's fucking going. He's going up like that. That's what that man's doing.
Pretty good with his picks, with his lyrics, with his rhymes. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's we're very, very fortunate to have him. But let's get right to work. Bobano, Slatsy says, hope you're on the road to recovery. There was heavy belief that was a false negative that you got, Bobano. Heavy belief that you got a false negative.
I tested negative again at the airport, so it can't be.
Okay, yeah. Maybe not. Okay, let's get right to work. Bobano, let's get through NHL quickly because we got this huge MLB card staring us in the face. But, again, as you know, we're betting with the bag. There's no time restrictions, baby. There's no, Slaughter says you do as long as you want.
Hey, we did 4-hour shows on this program, but down in San Antonio, so that's the truth right there.
Yeah, we've got the perfect boss in the world. Let's get right to work. Bobano, we start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Boston Bruins 44-21-5, 22-10-3 on the road at Tampa Bay Lightning 43-20-7, 21-7-5 at home Amalie Arena in Tampa, Florida. I said most of the year that the Central Division was the best division in hockey. It's not. It's not. It is the Atlantic. And Austin Matthews, I mean, best player in the NHL, Bobano?
I would say so right now. He's definitely the best goal. Obviously, he's the best goal scorer based on leading the league with 56 goals. But I think he deserves that classification best player right now because, everyone knows he scored 56 goals. But I think his determination when he doesn't have the puck to get it back. I mean, this guy's like, it's like that person when they lose their wallet and they're a crazed lunatic and they know they've got to do everything they can to get the wallet back because it's got their life in it, their money, their personal identification, their credit cards, all the valuable shit that we need every day. That's Austin Matthews when he doesn't have the puck. He's like a bloodhound out there, and he will do whatever it takes to get the puck back. And the work ethic to get it back, the ability to steal the puck. He's great at just picking someone's pocket when they're not even noticing in the center ice area. That's how he got that goal last night.
When did he get so big?
Incredible.
When did he get so big? I don't remember him being so big. Right now, Connor McDavid is not the best player in the NHL. Austin Matthews is the best player in the NHL. Mark Schillenberg says, hit me up next time you're in Pittsburgh. I will for sure because Twatty Latte also in Pittsburgh, and he's going to be making appearances on the show MLB season. And Mike M says, Austin Matthews, you're welcome, Canada, from America.
Yes.
Yeah. No, the
He
best
is.
player in the National Hockey League is
Not only from the
American.
States, he's from Arizona, that
Yeah,
hotbed of hockey.
crazy. Crazy. Deacon Mike says, I'm saluting the pigeons with my bird attire. Okay, let's get to work here. Amalie Arena in Tampa, Florida. This one's going to be a beauty. This is just so exciting, these two teams facing each other. And we've already heard some belief in the Boston Bruins. We have Linus Ullmark versus Andrei Vasilevsky. Let me know if I have the goalies wrong again. This was set up last night. 22-9 and 2, 2.63 goals against average, 910 save percentage for Ullmark. Vasilevsky, 35-16 and 4, 2.46 goals against average, 916 save percentage, 2 shutout. Boston power play at 23.3%, penalty killing at 82.1%. Tampa Bay, 22.1% power play, 81.1% penalty killing. So, first off, my first inclination was obviously I'm surprised that we have a Lightning team who's lost 3 straight games for the 5th time this season. And I thought, I wonder what the Lightning price is going to be. Now, this was before I was sure that Pasternak would not be in the lineup for the Bruins. So I guessed minus 140. So when I saw minus 155 that was available for me, I was like, then the minus 1 would be like a plus 102 because the minus 1.5 was a plus 160. So the winner will assume sole possession of third place in the Atlantic Division. It doesn't matter. If you come fourth, the opposition that you're going to have in the Eastern Conference is extremely tough. And it doesn't matter. I don't think these teams really care. In the Western Conference, they do care. But in the East, I don't think they care. The Bruins had their 3-game winning streak snapped in a disappointing 5-3 loss to the Red Wings on Tuesday. They were 17-3-1 in their 21 before that loss. 17-3-1. And shout out to Turnsey, who made a big boy bet on the Detroit Red Wings that paid out, well over a K. Impressive. They're 0 for 9 on the power play over the last 2 games, and they don't have Pasternak. Bergeron has a 9-game point streak is 12 points over those 9 games. And Pasternak will not be in the lineup. Hampus Lindholm didn't practice Thursday. He's not been ruled out yet, but Lindholm sustained a lower body injury against Detroit. He is still with the team. It was their Stamkos over to the Tampa Lightning coming off their 3rd straight loss, 4-3 the Capitals on Wednesday. 8-game point streak. Kucherov has a 6-game point streak. But first off, Bobano, are the Lightning not as good as they were last year? Or are the miles on them? Like what they moved their whole third line in the offseason. Now they tried to get that line, get into the trade market and build that third line back up. But are they not as good? And who do you like here, Bobano? Take it away, Bruins, Lightning.
I think there's a lot of different things going on with Tampa Bay. First of all, part of me thinks that they aren't quite as good as last year. When you remove the entirety of a third line from last year's group that produced at the level that Barclay Goodrow, Yanni Gourde, and Blake Coleman did, you're going to feel that absence, and you're going to be tough to replicate that. And I think that's part of the problem. I don't think you're getting to me, that third line, Killorn, Cirelli, and Paul right now, I don't know if they've necessarily been as good. Actually, I'll give Paul credit. Nick Paul's been good since they got him from Ottawa, but I think they missed that line, which was a catalyst in that Stanley Cup run last year. That's number one. Number two, this team has played a lot of games in the last month. Not everybody else has too. Like everybody's playing condensed schedules, but Tampa Bay has really played a lot of hockey the last month. And you compound that on them playing a lot of hockey last year, winning the Stanley Cup, on top of playing a lot of hockey 2 years ago, winning the Stanley Cup. I think they're going through one of those phases right now where they've hit a little bit of a physical wall. They look like they're a little tired. They're a little worn down. I think that's part of the issue right now with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I think the third part of the issue is, for the first time in maybe this entire 2-3 years, Andrei Vasilevsky looks like an average goalie right now. No. That's the hard truth of it right now. It's time to start being so soft on criticizing him, because we always look at him as just one of the elite goalies in the NHL, and I think he still is. But right now, he's not playing at that level for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I think it's all kinds of those factors right now. I also think it's a little bit of disillusionment and disinterest. Tampa Bay doesn't care. I'm convinced, Jimmy, they don't care where they finish. All right, they're not playing like a team that cares where they finish. They're going through the motions. Even Cooper after another loss to Washington the other night. He's like, we're fine. There's just a couple of elements of our game that are missing right now. I mean, even he's not interested. You'd think he'd be a little pissed off, a little bit of a 3-game losing streak. I can't lay a price right now with Tampa Bay, and I'm not going to. Can I take Boston, though? I don't know. They just had a terrible game against Detroit. I do like their ability to bounce back. They have been very good off a loss lately, the Boston Bruins, but I don't like that Lindholm's not playing. Probably not playing. I don't like that Pasternak's not in. We know how much of an impact he is to this team. I don't know if I will take Boston. I certainly lean Boston. This is just one of those games where I'm not running to lay anything with the Tampa Bay Lightning right now. After what I've seen the last few games and the comments that truly indicate to me that they just want to get the playoffs started at this point. So it's Boston or pass, but it's probably going to be pass for me.
It's pass for me. Jason M says, surely this is a playoff practice game. Will be intense. Who wants to make the biggest statement? I don't agree, Jason. I don't agree. We've seen these situations happen where they're somewhat meaningless games in NBA. Now, this is a bad example, but look at the strategy employed by Memphis when they had a chance to have Phoenix come in. They sat 3 starters. Well, I mean, Morant was already out, but they sat Bane. They sat big pieces to their puzzle because they didn't want to tip their hand. So I don't think this is a playoff practice game. That's my thought. I think that Tampa really doesn't care that much because you'll see other teams who are losing. Like, let's give it. We have to move to basketball again. Like the Chicago Bulls. Levine's like, we got to get on straight. We got to get our shit together. Now that's a bad example because they're not a team that's a perennial Stanley Cup winner. But I don't think this is a. What do you think? Let's answer Jason M's question, then move on. Surely this is a playoff practice game. Will be intense. Who wants to make the biggest statement? Do you agree with that?
Well, it'll be something different than I've seen from Tampa Bay the last several games, if that's the case, as I just haven't seen that from Tampa Bay. I'm convinced Tampa Bay's like, if we finish second in the Atlantic, so be it. If we finish third in the Atlantic, so be it. If we're a first or second wild card, so be it. Just get us in the playoffs. We'll flip the switch like we always do. And we will, play our best hockey in the playoffs like we have the last couple of years. Maybe they will. Maybe they're just playing possum this entire time. Playoffs arrive, regardless of where they finish. They flip the switch, and there's Tampa Bay looking great again. But I don't think that's a given. I think there's real issues right now. Missing the third line from last year. All the hockey they've played the last 3 years, is it finally adding up for them, and they've hit a wall? Vasilevsky's decline the last couple of weeks. That's a concern. There's legit concerns with this hockey team right now, and I'm not convinced it's just, flip the switch in the playoffs and everything's hunky-dory again.
But it would not shock you if they flip the switch in the playoffs.
No, it wouldn't. But I'm not convinced that's going to be the case.
No,
I'm at the point now where I'm considering, Tampa Bay one and done in the playoffs with what
I absolutely hear you. So we're going to move past this spot. I don't want anything to do with it, but big shout out to Razor Sharp Picks. His daughter Harper celebrating her birthday today. They're heading off to the museum, and he just wanted to stop in and say good luck. Harper's such a cutie pie. Man, I can't wait for Ella and Harper to hang out and have a great day. You're a great father, man, and have a great day with the fam. James Russell says Bruins plus 1.5 minus 180 looks very tempting. I mean, I would never. My rule: never turn a dog into a favorite. So that's my thoughts. Jason M, we could talk about it for a long time, and come playoff time, we will. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 7 p.m. Eastern. Buffalo Sabres 26-34-11, 12-17-5 on the road at Florida Panthers 49-15-6, 29-6-0 at home. We're at Florida Live Arena in Sunrise. We have Dustin Tokarski listed going up against Bobrovsky. Tokarski 7-10-5, 3.24 goals against average, 901 save percentage, 1 shutout. I hope he enjoys starting these couple more starts that he gets this year, because I don't expect him in the league next year. Bobrovsky 33-6-3, 2.71 goals against average, 911 save percentage, 3 shutouts. Buffalo power play has been good, 20.4%, penalty killing 75.7%, and they've changed everything around the whole vibe of this hockey team. Now looks like they're building something, and it all starts with Rasmus Dahlin. Florida's power play 23.7%, penalty killing 78.8%. Let's move on to the market here. We have this total at 7. Wow. Panthers open up at minus 400. They're up to 450 and 470. Watching people fade the Sabres with huge prices just makes no sense to me. Even though they're on the second half of back-to-back after that 5-3 loss to Carolina last night, the Sabres, who've usually been the comeback kids, are I should say the Panthers are the real comeback kids. I mean, they call themselves the comeback cats anyways. But Carolina turned the switch on, and Carolina had to do something. They had not looked good, and Sabres had that nice lead. And then, I believe it was 4 unanswered goals for the Carolina Hurricanes. Panthers haven't played since a very impressive 7-6 comeback win at home over the Leafs on Tuesday. Huberdeau, 5 points, hits the 100-point mark for the first time in his career. First player in Panthers franchise history to hit 600 to hit 100 points and hit 600 career points. I thought Bure would have hit 100. I thought he would have broken 100 once, but I guess his knee was bothering him then. So it was their league-leading 10th victory when trailing after 2 periods, their 5th straight win. And my guy, Sammy Reinhart, he's the one guy I was like, why is Buffalo getting rid of Sammy? This guy can play, and he's having a great year. 26 goals, 68 points, got 2 goals and assists versus the Leafs, and you can put him in any situation. You can penalty kill him. He's accountable. I love the kid, and I love the Reinhart family, and I love his dad, Paul Reinhart, part of the Canucks team that I probably like the most. Take it away here, Bobano, Sabres, Panthers.
I'm going to be a little conservative here and go with Buffalo, but plus 1.5 puck line, and still get a very good price on that. Plus 155 at DraftKings with that. I like it. I mean, even on a back-to-back for the Sabres, because, I find their work ethic has been there every game. Now, they've struggled with Florida. They haven't beaten Florida this year, but this is kind of a tricky spot for the Panthers. They're coming off that incredible comeback against Toronto, 7-6. They have a game against Nashville coming up tomorrow night. A little bit of a bigger game, obviously, a better team. This one could be one of those games where Florida's, kind of sleepy. We've seen this from Florida, right? The New Jersey game last weekend. They didn't come out ready for that game. And they were lucky they came back and they won it. They were down 6-2. Going into the third period. So I think Buffalo can hang in this game. Now, Tokarski, he has struggled. There's no question. He's given up 5 goals in each of his last 2 starts. Florida, he gave up 5. Chicago, he gave up 5. They won the Chicago game, came back and won that game 6-5. But I think Buffalo, I like the effort. Every single night this team's coming to work, coming to play. Tuck, Thompson, and Skinner have been absolutely terrific for them, leading the way offensively. I think the development of Bryson, Samuelson, some of their young defensemen, it's been impressive to watch as well. A lot of them are getting better. Dahlin's kind of had a bounce-back year on that back end as well for the Sabres. Tokarski's numbers aren't great, which is also, by the way, Jimmy, another official play for me in this game is even at 7, the over for me in this game. I'm continuing to ride Florida games over even at these 7s. I've committed to saying, you know what? They finally moved these Florida totals to 7. I'm still betting them over. And look at the last 3 games. They were all 7, and it was 7-6, 5-3, 7-6. Still flying over the total. And I think Florida will get theirs tonight against a Buffalo team. Maybe a little tired on the back end, back-to-back as well. But I think Buffalo scores here as well. I mean, Florida doesn't necessarily lock you down defensively. We have seen that repeatedly now from the Panthers. So I have 2 plays here. Sabres plus 1.5, plus 155 puck line, and also over 7. Let's see what we can get with that. Best price out there with that right now is minus 110 bet online.
All right, lock that in. Yeah, minus 111 over at Pinnacle. Interesting. And Turnsy looking at the plus 2.5. The plus 2.5 minus 127, which means that the 2 would still be plus money. Food for thought there. I'm believing in the Sabres. I don't know if I'm going to get that. You know what? It's just too important to succeed for me gambling right now.
Probably should bet the team total. You're right, at the Sabres, because they just keep getting to 3, and that's all they need. You don't have to worry about whether they cover a puck line or win the game. Look at Buffalo. They've scored 3-4, 3-4, 2 against Winnipeg, but then 6 against Chicago, 4 against the Rangers, 3 against Washington, 4 against Pittsburgh, 3 against Vancouver. Like only once in the last 10 games have they not scored 3 goals minimum.
It was a great bet by Nutflush last night.
Yeah.
Over 2.5 at minus 115 at Bet365.
Put that on the friggin' official card for me too. Buffalo team total over 2.5.
Well, let's see if we can get a better line than what Sabres to team total. Let's see if we can get a better line than what Bet365 is offering at minus 115. All right, Elliot V in the house. We got Antoine Carson ready to get to work. It is great to see all you guys. We are almost at MLB here. We just got 3 games left in NHL. Sabres plus 1.5, plus 155, over 7 at minus 110. Sabres team total over 2.5. There's Wally
Yeah,
in the
over
house.
2.5 plus 110 at Pinnacle.
There
That
you
looks like
go.
about as good
There's
as
the
it
line we're
gets.
looking for.
Yep.
There's the line we're looking for. Beautiful. Okay, let's roll on. Let's roll on. Next up, we have 7 p.m. Eastern, New York Islanders. Oh, I was going to say something quickly about just the need to secure the bag right now is never been more important in my whole gambling career. You know, a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old at home.
Well, no
And
shit.
so,
Yeah.
so look, NBA, we've been on this huge run. We had a nice season in college basketball. We've gotten off to a winning start in baseball. So I'm trying so hard not to say fuck hockey. New York Islanders 32 28 9, 14 15 and 5. Carolina Hurricanes 45 17 and 8, 25 6 and 4. PNC Arena, Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm also not just going to give out a play, you know, for the sake of content. So, you know what? I need to make money, and you know, if hockey's not going to provide it right now, even though my futures in NHL look very good, which would be so up if I lose badly in the year and then my futures pay, which won't cover what I've lost in NHL this year, but. Well, all right, I digress. Sorokin, 22, 14, and 7, 2.30 goals against average, 927 save percentage, 6 shutouts. Freddie Anderson, 33, 12, and 3, 2.07 goals against average, 926 save percentage, 4 shutouts. Islanders, 20.1% power play, 84.2% penalty killing. Carolina, 23.5% power play, 88.0% penalty killing. Let's see what we're dealing with here. We have the Islanders opening up at plus 142. They're now between plus 150 and plus 160. This total sitting at 5.5. Islanders had their 4-game winning streak snapped in a 3-2 loss at Dallas on Tuesday night. Noah Dobson has been a revelation. I wonder if this is why Lamoriello let Devon Taves go for a 2nd and 3rd round draft pick, because he thought Noah Dobson's the real deal, and it just took maybe a year longer than Lamoriello expected for Noah Dobson to show what a great player he is. 12th overall pick in the 2018 draft. So he has 40 points on the season. He's the first Islander defenseman to do that since Nick Leddy in 2017, 2018, averaging 21.09 minutes a game. And Ilya Sorokin is close to being back. It could be Carolina, or it could be tomorrow night against St. Louis. It's the end of the 5-game road trip. Second best save percentage in the NHL. If you told me that Sorokin had the second best save percentage in the NHL, I'd say, well, what seed are they in the playoffs? You know,
yeah.
Hurricanes are on the second half of a back-to-back after they snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 5-3 comeback win over Buffalo last night. They'd lost 4-2 to the Sabres on Tuesday. They're just 4-5-3 in a 12-game span, and they've opened the door to the New York Rangers, who could win that division. Take it away, Bobano, Islanders, Hurricanes.
Yeah, I'm not involved in this game. I could only look Carolina here, but you know, they are on a back-to-back. They did have to work to beat Buffalo, come back and win that game last night. The Islanders, look, they played better. They had won 4 in a row. They had the win streak snapped by the Stars, 3-2. But that's probably the game where I think if they probably knew they weren't going to make the playoffs anyway. But you know, they already had such a huge deficit. But you know, I just think here with Carolina, you had a little losing streak, you won a game, and now you know you're suddenly just satisfied after last night. No, I think with the Rangers winning again last night, the pressure's on Carolina because you know they haven't wrapped up anything in terms of first place. There's still work to be done there. They're only 2 points ahead of the Rangers right now for first place in the Metro Division. So there is a legit race now for first. So this is an important game for Carolina. Every game is moving forward. The Islanders, could they put up a battle here? Sure, they could against this Carolina team. But this is one team that's completely owned them. Carolina has won 9 straight meetings head-to-head over the Islanders. So I just don't really want to go against that. You know, I think the Avalanche or the Carolina Hurricanes are going to win this game, but I'm not going to lay minus 175, and I'm not going to take them in regulation either on a back-to-back with the Islanders having a rest advantage. So that's why I'm going to stay off.
I agree. This would be Islanders or no bet, but I agree with the breakdown immensely. This is not a one win over the Sabres and we can relax and feel good about ourselves. So I agree. What about this total at 5.5? I guess the Islanders stopped playing that kind of hockey where there were 5s on the board so much of the last couple of years. What if you had a free play on the under or on the total at 5.5? What would it be?
That one's tricky because a lot of the games in Carolina have gone over head to head with the Islanders and Hurricanes, and you know, last night it was over the total 5-3 with Carolina and Buffalo. Remember, it was Ronta last night, so we're probably going to see Freddie Anderson in net tonight for the Hurricanes. I'd lean over, but I don't think I'll end up betting it.
Very quickly, Know Something wants to know if you like Swiss Chalet. I am not a believer in Swiss Chalet, unfortunately. I'm not a fan of Swiss Chalet. Know Something. We got a lot of dining options here in Toronto. Very multicultural city, and Swiss Chalet, can blow me really. Bobano, what do you think of Swiss Chalet? Are you a
I
fan?
like it, but I'm not as harsh as you about it. But obviously, that's quick. You need something quick. You want to get something for takeout, get something delivered to you. That's not where you go for fine dining. It's not.
No.
It's good. It's good. A good rotisserie chicken there is pretty good. I got no complaints. I always enjoy a meal there. But is it something you're going to take a wife or your family to for an anniversary or some shit?
We got jerk chicken here in Toronto, man. We got the Caribbean influences here. I'm not going to eat some fucking Swiss Chalet.
All I say is go there, enjoy the rotisserie chicken. But if you want to disrespect your family and then not have one after, take them to Swiss Chalet for a big moment in their lives. They won't make them too happy.
Anniversary dinner. Minnesota Wild 43-21-5, 19-14-3 on the road at the St. Louis Blues, 40-20-10, 23-9-4 at home at Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri. Cam Talbot, Ville Husso are set, but that could change. 28-12-2 for Talbot, 2.78 goals against average, 9-12 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Husso 21-6-5, 2.36 goals against average, 9-24 save percentage, 2 shutouts. He's been excellent. UC Saros, Ville Husso, they've been excellent this year. These goalies that I didn't realize were elite. And we talk about the Vasilevskis and the Hellebucks falling off. These guys are rolling. There's Julian Cesario in the house. Thank you so much for the dono, my man. Can't wait to be back in LA, hanging with you at Santa Anita, my guy. Know something. Okay, I'm riled up, buddy. Not really, not quite, but I'm excited. I'm excited about getting to baseball. I'm excited about capping here. Minnesota power play 20.5%. Still, that 75.7% penalty killing is going to get them. And Billy Guerin to not fix that at trade deadline, and then to watch what happened last game. I mean, and look at these guys. Why is Joel Eriksson Ek not a spectacular penalty killer? They allowed 3 power play goals in the first period against Nashville last out, and a fourth they went. So Predators went 3 for 4 in the power play, but it was really 4 for 4. They scored like a few seconds after that went off, after a penalty ended, and why is that? I don't understand really why Eriksson Ek isn't better. But if he's not better, do something about it. The Wild are going to struggle if they have 75.7% penalty killing against these teams with incredible power plays. So we have Minnesota holding a 1-point edge over the Blues in this battle for home ice in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and they have a game in hand. They had their 2-game winning streak snapped in that 6-2 loss at Nashville on Tuesday night. St. Louis extended their winning streak to 3 games with a 4-1 win at home over Seattle on Wednesday night. They've turned the corner, and they're a dangerous team. 6-game point streak, 5-0-1, 11-1-2 in their past 14 meetings with the Wild, and they beat the Wild at the Winter Classic at Target Field. This is a rivalry game. Let's just take a quick look at the market here in this spot. We have the Wild opening up at plus 112. Now it's a pickup. Now they're favorites at a bunch of books. And this total opened up at 6, and DraftKings moved it to 6.5. Take it away, Bobano.
Yeah, all the trends point to the over, and I'm not going to go away from that. I like it. Minnesota side. I like the Wild a little bit, but the problem is they've really been owned by St. Louis. It's been a weird situation. There's always those teams you can't beat. St. Louis is 7-1 the last 8 meetings against Minnesota. They've played this Wild team very well over the years, but it's been one over after another. I mean, earlier this year, they've only played once this year, 6-4 St. Louis in Minnesota. I think Minnesota will probably bounce back a little bit offensively here in this game. Ville Husso, of course, is clearly taken over as the number 1 guy in net for the Blues, and he obviously has played well lately. The last couple games especially, he's played well. But before that, he had a couple of hiccups. He gave up 3 to Vancouver, 4 to Calgary as well. And I think Minnesota, after the 6-2 loss to Nashville, you'll really try to see them bounce back offensively. They've been actually very good offensively after only being scored or held to 2 goals or less in the last game. So that's something I definitely look at as well. St. Louis on the on the other end, you mentioned it, Jimmy, with their power play. It's been absolutely terrific for the Blues, and the Minnesota penalty kill has not been good. You're right about that. They have given up 6 power play goals in the last 6 games. That's definitely not good. The Blues power play has scored at least once in 8 of the last 10 games. They have been really, really good with the man advantage, and I think that helps the over. You got a struggling penalty kill for the Wild against a good power play in the Blues. You've got an over-trending series history. You've got teams that in this kind of spot, they've trended over. Wild have gone 7 of 9 to the over after a loss of 3 or more goals. St. Louis, they've trended over 5-0 in their last 5 when their opponent allows 5 or more in their previous game. Again, in terms of the series history, 5 of the last 6 have gone over with the Blues and the Wild. So pretty straightforward decision for me for over 6 minus, see what the best price is, minus 120 over 6.
I will look. I will look for the over 6. I get that. Look. And we've seen one book already move it to 7. I will line shop for you, but let's get on. I want to get on to baseball so badly. Turnsey, by the way, is on the Blues and over 5.5 at plus 250 on FanDuel. Situationally, you expect the Wild to bounce back.
Yes.
We know these two teams.
And I still think they're the better team. That's why I lean to the Wild.
If they were in a 7-game series, I would think that Minnesota would win that series. But this penalty killing is a real problem against this St. Louis team that's rolling, and St. Louis seems to have Minnesota's number. And look, I just want to make money, and this makes me uncomfortable. 8 p.m. Eastern, Colorado Avalanche, 50-14. I will line shop for that over 6. And if anybody can help with that too, that would be great. 22-10-3 on the road at the Winnipeg Jets, 33-28-10, 19-15 at 2 at home. When the Winnipeg Jets didn't show up against the Detroit Red Wings, I just wanted to call Paul Maurice and say, that was a good job. Good job abandoning these fucking bums. Smart thinking. Don't go down with this shit-ass ship.
I think he knew something was up. I think he's too smart. He is a smart guy, and he's kind of looking like it right now.
I should have realized. And when he did abandon the team, I was like, okay, these guys are no good. But for whatever reason, I just thought after the Wings beat the Bruins 5-3 that they were going to – and then Winnipeg needed the game to have a chance. Ugh, and I bet you
that was
they come up
despicable by the Jets against Detroit the other night. Despicable in that spot. They had a weak team coming in off an upset win on a back-to-back, rolling in. You're rested since Saturday when you laid another egg against the LA Kings at home and somehow got outshot 18-4. That should have been because I was on the Jets too the game against Detroit, so I was angry too. It's just one of those spots where it's like, Ian, wake up and smell the coffee. Did you not see the Saturday game against LA? Did that look like a team that's ready to make the playoffs, getting outshot 18-4 in the first period by the LA Kings that night? Should have known right then. It's not meant to be.
And I double dipped on the first period in the full game. Oh, God. Kemper, 33-9-3, 2.40 goals against average, 925 save percentage, 5 shutouts. And shout out to Burnaby Joe for realizing what he had when I thought it was a mistake. Connor Hellebuck, 25-25-9, 2.91 goals against average, 912 save percentage, 4 shutouts. Colorado power play, 25.1%, penalty killing, 78.9%. This is the last game on the NHL card. We go right into baseball. Winnipeg, 21% power play, penalty killing at 75.1%. And I just know that the Jets are going to come out hard in the first period. I'm
tempted by Jets first period, but that's the only thing I would look at for Winnipeg is first period, because the last time they were in this building, they jumped out 3-0. On Colorado, and they still lost the game.
Yep. But we talk about risk reward, and is it there? I mean, the only reason why I wasn't on the Penguins yesterday was there was no risk reward. I did think that they would bounce back after losing how many did they had lost in a row? 4 in a row. They get swept by the Avalanche in the home and home, and they lost those 2 games in a row to the Rangers. I thought they were going to come out with as much fire, but at a pick'em against Shesty at home. No, thank you. And this is the same thing. Winnipeg opens up at plus 162. Now they're at plus 155 or 150 across the board. This total opened up at 6. There is now a 6.5 on the board. So Avalanche come in off sweeping that home and home, I said, with Pittsburgh for their 4th straight win. So no Landeskog, no Kadri, no Nichushkin, no Girard, no Ryan Murray, and it doesn't matter. Thank God we have futures on this hockey team. Now, they've never proven it in the playoffs, so they've got a lot of proving to do. Bo Byram is back, and that's good. 37 games with the concussion issues. For such a young defenseman, very tough being a young defenseman. And he's also a beloved Vancouver Giant. So I hope that he has a long career ahead of him, and I just wish him the best, and I'm happy to see him back on the ice. Avalanche, 9-1-1 run. They've outscored their opponents 38-23 without their captain, without all these pieces. Jets coming off that ugly 3-1 home loss to the Red Wings, 7 points out of a playoff spot, 11 games remaining. Take it away here, Bobano, Avs, Jets, and then we move on to MLB.
So I am on over 6 here in this game because, look, Winnipeg is talking about we've got to throw everything at the net. We got to get back to pushing pace. I believe they will. And I think after those two back-to-back wins against Colorado, and they play Edmonton, by the way, tomorrow night, Colorado. This is the potential, lethargic spot, if you will, for the Avalanche. So I could see them maybe having a little bit of a defensive lapse tonight. But Winnipeg's defense is not going to contain Colorado for 60 minutes. So, the Avalanche will get there. So I like over the total here. Over 6 minus 120. 7 of the last 10 meetings have gone over the total as well with the Avalanche and the Jets. I'm going to do it. I shouldn't, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to add Winnipeg plus 137 first period as well at bookmaker, according to Billy in the chat. I just have to in this spot. They swept Pittsburgh back-to-back games. They got Edmonton tomorrow night. I could see a slow, and they did have a terrible start against Winnipeg at home the last time they ended up playing them. It was 3-0 Winnipeg after the first period. So I think the slow start could be there for the Avs. But am I going to trust Winnipeg for 60 minutes, knowing Colorado gets better and stronger on home ice in the second and the third period? That's always when they wear teams down at that building, Ball Arena there in Denver. Absolutely not. Am I going to trust Winnipeg for 60 minutes? But can I at least for 20 minutes after a dog shit effort against Detroit? Morrissey saying we couldn't even really look ourselves in the mirror after that game. It was so bad that maybe, just maybe in the first 20 minutes, you absolutely get a kick-ass effort out of Winnipeg. But do I trust them beyond the first 20? No. So I'll just keep it to the first period on the Jets.
Thank God you're on the show, Bobano, because NHL has just got me right in the bottom mouth over and over and over and over again.
Hey, we all have that sport we have a struggle with. Nobody wins at every sport. We all have one that really kicks our ass. And for me, it was college basketball. Like I never got on track in college basketball this year. It was always one step forward, two steps back all year in college basketball. But thankfully for me, NHL and NBA has been just terrific.
This is supposed to be my sport. That's the problem with it. And I've shown it, but not this year. Thank God Bobano's on the show. Let's go over Bobano's action. Sabres plus 1.5 plus 155. Over 7 at minus 110. Sabres team total over 2.5 at plus 110. Then he's on the over 6 in Wild Blues. He's on the over 6 in Avalanche Jets. And he's on the Jets first period at plus 137. And there is TJ back in business. Man, we've missed you. I don't know if you heard me talk about you on yesterday's show. But with baseball back, I was thinking about you, and I gave you a shout out. And to see you back in action means the world. It absolutely means the world to me. Clint, yeah, look, that's the one thing that we have in this show is, honesty and transparency. And sometimes it gives us confidence, and sometimes it's very embarrassing. And that's the situation. So let's move on.
You're doing the work, and Clint, you know the sport.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody knows and researches it as well as you do, in my opinion. Very few anyway. And that's why you just stick with it, and things are going to turn eventually.
Without a doubt. And we've seen it for years what you can do, Clint.
Like if you listen to Clint, you can't look yourself in the mirror and say, oh, what a moron this guy is when it comes to MMA when you listen to him talk. Nobody in their right mind can say that. The guy knows his shit. Things just aren't going his way at the moment. It'll turn.
And here's another cap who's completely transparent, with his actions. So, it ebbs and flows, and I hope I'll be back in action at some point soon. But right now, it's just too imperative to secure the bag. So yesterday, Royals plus 105 cash. Pittsburgh, St. Louis over 7.5 cash. Nats first 5 was a loser. And then I was
so angry I didn't bet over in that Pittsburgh game instead of stupid bet on Pittsburgh, trusting Brubaker. But I didn't trust Wainwright, so that was the reason I took Pittsburgh.
I was kind of fortunate to get that over, in all honesty. In the 8th inning, I didn't think – at the top of the 8th, I didn't think I was going to get there. But 2-1 plus 1 unit, and I didn't move on the under 4.5, first 5 under 4.5. And it was all because of this. It was all because I wanted to guarantee a winning day. I just didn't want to come in here adding one play that would – I just wanted to start with a winning day no matter what. There's Moose Money in the house. Says, what a day yesterday. 7-0 in MLB thanks to this show and this amazing chat. And then my high school pitcher goes and throws a no-hitter in league. Oh, man. Moose Money. I love hearing that. And Matty I says, we win together. And he says, that's what this show is all about. There's Joey Evang in the house. Let's get into MLB. Bobano, I can't wait. We start at 1:05 p.m. Eastern. Boston Red Sox at New York Yankees. Let me make sure I've got everything that I need up here and ready to go. Here we go. Okay. Everything up, all the sites. And then I need moves here. Okay, here we go.
By the
Yankee
way, I
Stadium.
gotta say,
Yeah.
moment of silence for dailybaseballData.com. I can't believe that site has gone down and it's no longer being updated anymore. I used it every day for MLB. Very upset.
Yes, but we have found all the sites to give us the goods. Sharpie and I did a big deep dive on where we could get the information that is needed. First off, for weather, we're going to swishanalytics.com. Swishanalytics.com. Red Sox Yankees, it starts at 56 Fahrenheit. It's clear and it's blowing out. 10.4 miles per hour, goes down to 9.8 and then up to 11.7 by the end of the game. It's cold, it's cool, but it's set up wind-wise for some offense. We have a market here. Let me pull this market up as fast as possible. Be multitasking here a little bit. I can't believe we get to start, Bobano, with this incredible Red Sox-Yankees game, the rematch of the wild card between Eovaldi and Cole. The Red Sox opened up at plus 138. Now they're between plus 145 and 155. This total opened up at 7.5. It has moved to 8. And there is a couple 8.5s on the board. Piker says Eovaldi owns the Yankees. Wine Time says the world is on the Yankees. Matty Ice says Red Sox hitters struggle versus Cole. LeMahieu, Judge, Rizzo, and Higashioka all hit Eovaldi well. We have confirmed lineups for the Red Sox: Hernandez, Devers, Bogarts, Martinez, Verdugo, Story, Dalbec, Bradley, and Vasquez. For the Yankees, at the top of the lineup, Josh Donaldson. I hope you Yankee fans enjoy the 35 games he's going to be healthy for this year. Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, LeMahieu, Gallo, Hicks, Higashioka, and Kiner Falefa at shortstop. TJ's on the first 5 under 4.5 at minus 125 as an official look for him. TJ says Cole last 4 openers, 2 earned runs, 8 Ks, 1 earned run, 5 Ks, 1 earned run, 10 Ks, 1 earned run, 11 Ks. Eovaldi last 4 openers, 1 earned run, 4 Ks, 1 earned run, 4 Ks, 6 earned runs, 3 Ks. And he says throw this out, came back early off injury. We have the Eovaldi last year, 11-9, 3.75 ERA, 1.19 whip, 195 Ks, 35 walks. Garrett Cole, 16-8, 3.23 ERA, 1.06 whip, 243 Ks, and 41 walks. The 2021 Red Sox versus righties were the second most offensive team. They hit 260 with a 778 OPS. The Yankees versus righties weren't that good. 16th, 230, 716 OPS. Red Sox preseason bullpen rank 8th. Yankees preseason bullpen rank first. We have Trevor Story, 24 homers, 20 stolen bases for the Rockies. Now the new second baseman for Boston. And Josh Donaldson at the top of the lineup for the Yankees. Quick look at where the cash lies, and then we will hand it over to Bobano. We have 19,935 tickets in. 54. So those of you who are saying everybody's on the Yankees, 54% of the tickets on the Red Sox, 88% of the cash is on the Red Sox. Then we have 45% of tickets on the under and 71% cash on the under. Bobano, take it away. The most storied rivalry in sports. Red Sox, Yankees.
Yeah, I'm going to do a split here at Boston, plus 145 first 5 innings, and I'm going to do this a lot, especially when I feel that the other team might have a bullpen edge in this one. And so that's what I'm going to do here is Boston with the plus 145 first 5, and also the plus 155 for 56 actually bet online with the full game money line. I'm going to dare Garrett Cole to be better than he was in the second half last year. We trace it all the way back to when Spider Tack occurred. He didn't really pitch all that well consistently after that. That bothers me a little bit going into this game. Eovaldi actually, 3.75 ERA last year, but his FIP was lower. His xERA was lower than that. He actually probably should have been even better than his ERA suggested. He's, I think still very capable of being one of those top 1 or 2 pitchers in a rotation. His spring training was pretty solid overall. He got a lot of innings in. You can't say that about Garrett Cole either. So when you look at it here, I think it's just a little bit of a big price here for the Yankees. And maybe we're going to be in one of these spots just like last year where people were underestimating the Boston Red Sox. And as a result, you're going to get some value in their money line price. And that's kind of the way I feel here going into this game this afternoon here against the Yankees. And to me, I'd rather take my chances going up against Garrett Cole and fading the Yankees with him on the mound than fading them with some of their other starting pitchers when you're not going to get the kind of price that you're getting here. with the Boston Red Sox. And again, when you look at last year too, with the Cole against the Red Sox, look, the later the season went on, the Red Sox really, really got after Cole's fastball. And they really made him pay for it. And then, we know he's got that great changeup, but my goodness, I mean, the fastball was definitely a problem. And Boston was able to club that pitch, repeatedly down the stretch. So, the question for Boston is, what are you going to get from their bullpen? It's probably not as good as the Yankees. It's why I'm splitting this bet up. Is Whitlock going to be as good again? Are you going to be able to get, your bridge guys to pitch well? Is Matt Barnes going to have a bounce back in the closer spot for the Red Sox? All of that's a question mark for me. So I feel though Boston's very live in this game. So I'm going to go with the split here. First 5 full game Red Sox.
And what were the numbers that you got here? Because I'm line shopping, and I don't think I can't beat the 145 you have first 5.
Yeah, plus 145 is good, first 5, and plus 156 Heritage for the full game.
All right, let's lock that in for Bobano, plus 156 full game, plus 145 first 5, and I'm sure that makes Jose smile that you are backing the Boston Red Sox. Let's move on to 1:10 p.m. Eastern. The Chicago White Sox 93-69, 40-41 on the road at the Detroit Tigers, 77-85, 42-39 at home at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. Giolito up against Rodriguez. Let's start with the market move here. We have the White Sox opening up at minus 132. There is the first minus 140 on the board at PointsBet. This total opened up at 8. It's still 8 at DraftKings, but it's moved to 7.5 everywhere else. 7.5 everywhere else. When we look at the cash flow here, we have 17,275 tickets in. 32% of the tickets are on the Detroit Tigers and 65% of the cash. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Then from the total perspective, we have 49% of the tickets on the under and 76% of the cash, and it's gone from 8 to 7.5. Billy Brisbane, MLB play of the day is White Sox first 5 at minus 120, available at FanDuel. Big Show picks pop in the Discord. That's our Discord here at Pub Sports Radio, and so many great cappers in there all hours of the day. Jump on and jump in. Taint play of the day is here. The Taint play of the day is here. It's the Tigers first 5 and backing Eduardo Rodriguez. Eduardo Rodriguez is being backed by Taint. Taint had a winner yesterday to get the MLB season off and rolling. Shout out to Taint. TJ says Detroit has seen a lot of Giolito. Love them first 5 here. Wish I got Matty Ice's number, but I'm happy with the plus 105 on Detroit first 5. Michigan Mel also liking Detroit first 5. Jay Peasy says you don't trust Giolito and the White Sox on the road. I don't. Oh, says you trust Giolito and the White Sox on the road. He says I don't. Uncle Oliver is with Taint as well. Giolito 11-9, 3.53 ERA, 1.10 WHIP last year, 201 Ks, 52 walks. While Eduardo Rodriguez, the captain of the staff, the veteran leader of the staff, 13-8, 4.74 ERA, 1.39 WHIP, 185 Ks, 47 walks. Let's just take a look at the confirmed lineups here for the White Sox. AJ Pollock leading off and in right field. Hey there, big guy. Sorry, I got my 1-year-old right there. You want to wish us good luck quickly? Carter? We got a lot of work to do. If you want to, he's got his elf pants on.
There we go.
And his future hockey player shirt. And okay, you gonna wish us good luck, big guy? Huh?
We need all the help we can get, so we appreciate it.
What do you think? Okay. I love you. Gotta get back to work. Okay. Just saying good luck. Oh, thank you. All right, we have AJ Pollock batting first at right field. In center field, Luis Robert in first base. Jose Abreu. We have Grandal batting fourth. Eloy Jimenez fifth. Garcia sixth. Harrison. We got Harrison, the new second baseman over there. Vaughn as the DH, and then Jake Berger at third base. For these Tigers, Grossman, Meadows, Baez, Candelario, Cabrera, Scope, Badu, Torkelson at first base. We got some studs, young studs in the majors this year. And there is a Barnhart right there. So 2021 White Sox versus lefties were sixth in the MLB, 261 average, 775 OPS. They hit lefties hard last year. There's no reason why they won't this year. 2021 Tigers versus righties were weak, 23rd, 234 with a 696 OPS. It's pretty easy to say that the Tigers should hit righties harder this year, with Meadows in the lineup, with Torkelson at first, than they did last year. White Sox preseason bullpen rank 3rd, Tigers preseason bullpen rank 18th. We know that the White Sox bullpen is going to be dangerous. Take it away, Bobano. White Sox Tigers.
Yeah, I have not bet anything yet, but I'm mulling it over. I might bet a first 5 over in this game, actually, with the White Sox and Tigers, which is 4 at even money plus 100 for the first 5 over. I actually think the lineups could do damage early against these two guys. We know the White Sox mash lefties. We know that. That's been consistent for the White Sox the last couple of years. And look, I think Eduardo Rodriguez long-term is going to be a bet-on pitcher possibly here for Detroit. I think the whole Tigers team is going to be the team I look to bet on in spots. I just don't know if this is the spot because of this lefty matchup against the White Sox, which we know is often trouble against this Chicago team. But I think Eduardo definitely going from the AL East, going to the AL Central, a little bit of, you don't have the lineups or the ballparks you have to deal with in the AL East. And he's a crafty enough pitcher where, I could expect him maybe to be able to pitch better here in Detroit. I just don't know if you're going to see it today against a White Sox team that doesn't that hits quite well against lefties. It's worth noting, as though Matty Ice points out, you look at the confirmed lineup here for the White Sox. There are a couple big bats that aren't in there. Moncada and Timmy Anderson aren't in there, so that does hurt a little bit. But they've still got Luis Robert, Jose Abreu. Grandal. They've still got a lot of good options there. On the flip side, Giolito has like an ERA near 6 in the month of April. He has been a slow starter repeatedly, and Detroit has faced this guy a lot. Obviously, being in the same division the last couple of years, the struggles for Giolito in the month of April, first month of the year, are very real. He often does not settle in right away. So I think the Tigers, when you look at their lineup, now there's an issue in the bottom third of their lineup when you look at it. Where are you going to get hits in that part of the lineup is a question. But you see what they can do. Austin Meadows, they badly needed another left-handed bat. They got that now with Austin Meadows. Javier Baez comes over from the Cubs / the Mets. Candelario's a solid hitter. Miguel Cabrera still got a little in the tank. Akil Baddoo had an outstanding year last year for the Tigers. I think they could do some damage against Giolito. White Sox bullpen's pretty good. Don't know if I'd want to tempt that late in the game, which is why I'm maybe gearing more toward a first 5 over the total. I'm going to lock that in, Jimmy. In fact, I've talked myself into it. Giolito struggles in the month of April. I think the White Sox will be able to hit Rodriguez with their proficiency against left-handed pitching. So I'll get in on that. First 5 innings, Jimmy, Chicago, Detroit, over 4, plus 100.
And first pitch is at 44 Fahrenheit.
The weather's not. I think the rain is going to hold off, but you're right. It's not warm weather baseball. It's not exactly hitter friendly baseball. I understand that for sure. And after yesterday, you saw a lot of unders yesterday as well. Keep that, especially in these colder environments. But I'll take my chances there with the first 5 over in this one.
All right, let's get you that first 5 over right now, Bobano. The weather does make me a little uncomfortable, but I can understand the idea, though. I truly can. Again, the ballpark in Comerica, which I hope to spend, I hope to see 5 or 6 games there this year. It's not an easy park for offense, but statistically, if we take the weather out of it and the ballpark out of it, I think runs would be scored as well. I'm just nervous. I'm nervous, and I want to see these guys. Turnsey, who's right across the Detroit River in Windsor, says sprinkling on and off here in Detroit, Windsor. Over 4. I'm going to line chop for you on that over 4 and get you the best line available. Let's move on to the only bet I have made, and I'm very uncomfortable with it. I think this is like and we'll see how it plays out, but I think this is like the mistake from 2 years ago or 3 years ago that I would make. Clearly, the big bets are coming in on the Chicago Cubs, and yet I'm here on the Brewers -1, which is obviously in my head going to be a public play. And yet, since I bet it, the market's moved even further towards the Cubs and Justin Steele. And I know the Brewers had struggled hitting lefties last year, and they'll probably struggle hitting lefties again this year. But I'm nervous about this spot here, and if I could go back in time, I'd rather not have any action right now. But I am on the Brewers -1 at -127. I got -160 money line and the run line at +105. If anybody needs the -1 calculator, let me know. I'll pop it into the chat. We're at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. We have the weather blowing in heavy, 15.7 miles per hour at first pitch, gets up to 16.6 and a low of 15.3. And it is cold. Opens first pitch at 40 Fahrenheit, goes down to 39 Fahrenheit, and it feels colder than it is. Feels like 31 Fahrenheit. So it's a cold day over there. Let's take a look at the market movements here. We have the Brewers opening up at -150. You can get them anywhere between -152 and -160. I got in on -160, but they're now -155 at my book. This total opened up at 7, and it's moved to 7.5. Oh, sorry, excuse me. This total opened up at 7.5, juiced to the under at -120. It's now moved to 7 at most books. There's only 2 or 3 that I'm looking at that are still hanging the 7.5. Let's go to where the cash is and maybe in a better understanding why I'm nervous. 9,394 tickets in. 24% of the tickets on the Chicago Cubs and 69% of the cash. This was just I think a mistake here. And you know what? I wouldn't be dead set against getting off of this now. This total opening up, this total is 65% of tickets to the over, but just 34% of cash to that over. Bruce Hayward is on the Brewers. Matty I says Woodruff absolutely dominated these Cubs last year and dominated Wrigley. Look, I love him. Deacon saying the weather radar showing it might snow at Wrigley Field. This was clearly the spot where I was just enamored with Woodruff against Justin Steele. And okay, let me see if I can refresh here and get confirmed lineups. Refresh here. And we have a confirmed lineup for the Cubs. Frazier, DH, leading off. Madrigal, Contreras, Happ, Suzuki, VR, Hayward, Wisdom, and Rivas. For the Brewers, not confirmed, expected McCutchen, Damas, Yelich, Renfroe, Hira, Wong, Brosseau, Caratini, their new catcher, and Taylor. So we have Woodruff was 9-10, 2.56 ERA, 0.96 WHIP, 211 Ks, 43 walks last year. Steele 4-4, 4.26 ERA, 1.35 WHIP, 59 Ks, 27 walks. The Brewers 23rd versus lefties last year, 230, 704 OPS. Cubs versus righties 18th at 233 with a 709 OPS. Brewers preseason bullpen rank 2nd. We talked about that quite a bit yesterday. The Cubs preseason bullpen rank 23rd and will be vulnerable as the season goes on. Take it away, Bobano. Brewers, Cubs, 2:20 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, this is a pass for me completely. The Brewers are definitely in a bounce back spot, and I still think they're better than the Cubs. But Brandon Woodruff, it wasn't just bad in the spring in the Cactus League. He was brutal in the spring in the Cactus League. 16 hits, 15 runs, 14 earned, 4 walks, 11.1 innings, 10.8 ERA, 1.7 WHIP. That was his spring numbers. Absolutely atrocious. Now, sometimes this is what I always do with these pitchers that have an ugly spring, but I know they can be good, and we know Woodruff had a great year last year. I see them start their first game. I don't bet it. I sit back, I watch, I observe. Let's see if he gets it back on track. Was that just, him trying to work his way into, regular season shape? Or is that a harbinger of things to come? The fact that he was crushed throughout the spring Cactus League starts. That's going to be the question mark for me here with Woodruff. So for that reason, I'm staying off the game. I think Milwaukee's in a good spot. They obviously lost yesterday. I don't think they used all their key relievers. So if they have a lead, if the game's close late, they're probably available. Look, I'll give the Cubs credit. I didn't love this lineup, but there's Nico Horner and there's Ian Happ coming through with big clutch hits for them yesterday to help them to that victory against the Brewers. And Milwaukee still does have issues at times scoring runs. It was a problem at times last year. You would think this year that, they've worked to try to fix that with what they've got in this lineup. They bring in Andrew McCutchen. Hunter Renfroe is supposed to be brought in to help this offense a little bit. They got guys like Colton Wong, Keston Hiura, who are good hitters. Christian Yelich, of course, 2 years ago was sensational. Last year, not so much, but still capable. I didn't see good clutch at bats from the Brewers yesterday. And if you look back at last year, their numbers against lefties, and of course they're facing one here, Justin Steele, not great. Only 230 batting average as a team against lefties. And their numbers, whether it's runs, doubles, home runs, RBIs, they all went down against lefties last year compared to versus righties. So that's another concern I've got for the Brewers here in this one. So this is just a game all around, like Brewers, Cubs, over, under. I think it's a plausible case you can make for all of those. So for me, it's just to sit back and watch. More than anything, I want to see Woodruff. Was that spring just him tuning up his game for the regular season, or were the struggles and him getting smacked around in the spring, are they going to carry over here to the regular season? I guess we'll find that out today.
My thing is when these vets have bad springs, I don't care at all. I do like it, though, when a pitcher who hasn't had a very good season has an excellent spring.
Yeah,
that's about the only thing I use it. And Ryan Kozlowski talking about Hendricks had a 9 ERA in the Cactus League.
Yeah, and he pitched pretty well yesterday.
Yeah,
for the most part.
But we all have different angles. Some people don't want to have anything to do with spring training stats, but I do. And I love Sharpie dropping them. I'd like to know. I think the more information, the better. But in baseball, there's so much information.
That's why I'm not blindly fading Woodruff today either, because I know there's a good pitcher there. And the last couple of years, he's been very good for this baseball team. And maybe just, regular seasons here. Now I mean business. And now I'm going to, get back to the way I can pitch.
TJ says, unpopular to fade the win, but over is the play. First 5 in full game, lots of walks. And there's Dabby Cab. Says Brewers had no approach at the plate yesterday at all, behind in every count. Dabby Cab was drafted by these Brewers. So whenever he talks about the kind of innate feel things in a baseball game, listen, because he's really going to help us this year capping. And he also is doing shows right now with Kenny Rogers 1. Follow Dabby Cab on Twitter, and you're going to see him on this show this year as well. Let's move on to 3:05 p.m.
Later today. Say Hey plays.
Yeah. Oh, is Dabby Cab on Say Hey Plays today?
That's what I heard, Jose.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, wow, that's exciting. Okay, so Dabby Cab going to be jumping on. He made his Pop Sports Radio debut here with us when we were in San Antonio. A great guy, great capper, and knows baseball inside and out. Let's move on to 3:05 p.m. Eastern. Oakland Athletics, 86 and 76, 43 and 38 on the road at the Philadelphia Phillies, 82 and 80, 47 and 34 at home. We're at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Frankie Hard Toss Montas and Aaron Nola going up against each other. We have the weather here is clear and a little warmer in Philly, 58 Fahrenheit, and the wind is blowing out 8.2 miles per hour out to right field, and it stays that way and stays at 8.2, 8.1 miles per hour. We have confirmed lineups for both teams, and I did not bet the under season total under on the A's. I just feel like if any team is good at this, dumping salary and rebuilding, it's them. If you want to say that the angle is that they want to sort of like put it in the face of A's fans and set themselves up for a strong team when they move to Vegas, that is a fair angle. And if that's the angle you want on the under 69.5 wins, go for it. Go there. But I just have seen these A's teams work with nothing and be okay. Now, they could still fall apart heavy in the second half around the trade deadline when they get rid of more players. But Tony Kemp, McKinney, Murphy, Pinder, Brown, Andrews, Smith, and Piscotty, and then Pache. There's your Oakland A's lineup. For the Phillies, Schwarber, Realmuto, Harper, Castellanos, Hoskins, Gregorius, Segura, Stott, Bryson Stott at third base, and then Vierling behind the plate. Very interesting Phillies team, and it's a team that Jose has to win the division at plus 500. So let's take a look at the market here for this spot. We have the A's opening up at plus 142. You can get them anywhere between plus 150 and plus 165 right now. This total opened up at 8. It's 7.5 at FanDuel and 8.5 at Bet365. It says, and that is true. 8.5 at Bet365. Wow. 7.5 at FanDuel, 8.5 at Bet365, 8 everywhere else. Very, very interesting. Now let's take a look at the cash flow here. We have 13,328 tickets in. 67% of the tickets, 75% of the cash on the Phillies. Then you have 51% of the tickets, 58% of cash on the over. So some books moving towards the over, and some books have the Phillies as high as minus 190, and some at minus 175. So everything makes sense there. No real reverse issues. Montas last year, 13-9, 3.37 ERA, 1.18 WHIP, 207 Ks, 57 walks. Nola, 9-9, 4.63 ERA, 1.13 WHIP, 223 Ks, 39 walks. In 2021, the A's were 14th against righties, 237, 721 OPS. I know we all expect that number to go down with this lineup. In 2021, the Phillies were 13th against righties, 237 with a 723 OPS. The A's preseason bullpen ranked 27th. Phillies preseason bullpen ranked 15th. And we see Schwarber and Castellanos making their Citizens Bank Park debut as Phillies. Take it away here, Bobano. A's, Phillies.
Lean Phillies first 5 at a -0.5, which you'll get obviously at a better price. Nola didn't have a great ERA last year, but a lot of his advanced numbers, xFIP, xERA, they were all lower than his actual ERA. So I think he was a little unlucky. He didn't have exactly the dominant ace type season you'd expect from him, but I think he's capable of having a really good season again, and he always has pitched pretty well at home. We know that over the course of his career. So, if I were to look at anything here, that's probably the way I would go. I probably won't make it official, but I am interested a little bit here in Phillies -0.5, which is -115 in the first 5 innings, and then take the bullpen out of it too. That's what that bet does as well. Is it means you don't have to worry too much about, obviously, the Phillies bullpen, which to me still has issues. They shouldn't have issues hitting. This Phillies lineup, it could be one of the better lineups, Jimmy. If they all hit what they're capable of, this could be one of the better lineups in the NL. Bringing in Kyle Schwarber, bringing in Nick Castellanos, who'll be the cleanup hitter behind Harper this year. Real Muto in the second spot, good hitting catcher. Rhys Hoskins, who is clubbing the baseball in spring training. It could be a very, very good lineup here for the Phillies and Joe Girardi this year. No question about that. Here's the issue with Oakland, though, and why I think if you bet Philly, you do what I recommend, and that's the first 5, -0.5. I wouldn't want any part of -190. Their bullpen is still an issue and a question mark. I really don't like their team defense either. That's the one thing about bringing in Schwarber and Castellanos. You're not bringing in Gold Glove fielders with these two guys. Far from it. They're not great defensively, either one of them. So, and that was an issue at times for the Phillies defensively last year. Too many errors in the field. So that definitely bothers me a little bit. More than anything, everybody known to man thinks Oakland's going to be horrible this year. And maybe they are, and they are rebuilding. There's no question. You look at what they lost from last year. Matt Olson's gone. Matt Chapman's gone. Most of the key bats from last year are gone. They've started over in the lineup. I mean, they've just got really from last year, Sean Murphy, Chad Pinder, Piscotty. Other than that, there's a lot of new faces. That's not a great lineup by any stretch. You've got Frankie Montas on the mound today, who last year was decent, but he gave up a lot of hard hit contact, and that's the problem. His hard hit percentage last year, Jimmy, was not great. And now you face a lineup here today that could absolutely barrel up the ball in the Philadelphia Phillies here. So that is a concerning matchup for Montas here today, even though he probably is on paper, at least right now, especially since they got rid of Manea. He's probably the best starter they still have right now. But Phillies for me, first 5, -0.5, -115. I'm not going to make it official. I'm close on it, but just make it a lean for now. Phillies -0.5 in the -115 in the first 5.
I get it. I absolutely, I get it. And I get what all the comments coming from the chat are very interesting. Hunter Engelhardt saying Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play today, Phillies -1 at -103 is outstanding play. Says I have them first 5 -0.5 in a 3-game parlay. So Ron Crawford is moving on the Phillies -1. That is the spreadsheet play of the day. And we have our guy Sharpie in the house, and I loved Sharpie's breakdowns yesterday. You can see a lot of them on the show. He says Taylor fade, but thank me later. Says Nola over 6.5 -105 averages 2.5 more strikeouts at home.
Yep.
Coming off 74 pitches in spring training, should be good for a full workload. Rodney Barton took the A's first 3 innings at +155, cashed on St. Louis yesterday, first 3, and says let's do it again. Then our guy Ick Schnizzle.
One thing about the A's, they're not a bunch of morons in the front office. So people maybe are over exaggerating their demise. I mean, let's see them play a few games. Let's see a month or two from now where Oakland is before we say they're one of the worst teams.
It schnizzled on Philly first 5 minus a half at minus 115. Mets first 5 minus a half minus 115. Blue Jays first 5 minus a half minus 115. And Red Sox plus a half first 5 at minus 105. T-Mac is on the first 5 under 4. There's Wham Bam in the chat. He'll be joining us for NBA here at the top of the hour. All right, let's keep rolling. Keep rolling right now. And no move for me at this point in A's Phillies, but I'm still, things are. I'm listening. That's what I'm doing. And shout out to Pistol Pete Loshak for always preaching the importance of listening. 3:10 p.m. Eastern is next up for us. Baltimore Orioles 52 and 110, 25 and 56 on the road at the Tampa Bay Rays 162, 52 and 29 at home at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. John Means, the lefty on the mound for the Orioles, going up against Shane McClanahan. Let's start with the weather here. We have, it's in Tampa, so it doesn't matter what the weather is here. Thank you. Sorry about that. And then we have the lineups. Move over to the lineups very quickly and see if we got confirmed lineups. And we do have confirmed lineups. We have actually a ton of confirmed lineups across the board now. For the Orioles, Mullins, Mountcastle, Mancini, Hayes, Santander, Urias, Mateo, Chirinos, Gutierrez. For the Rays, Diaz, Franco, Wander, Franco, batting second at short, and we will see him hopefully for at least a decade in that spot. Ramirez, Arozarena, Brandon Lau, Zunino, Lowe, Josh Lowe, the highly thought of newcomer, Manuel Margot, and Kiermaier. That's still a dangerous lineup, in my estimation. Maybe not a 100-win lineup, but a dangerous lineup. Let's take a look at the market here. We have the Rays opening up at minus 198. Now you can get them anywhere between minus 185 and minus 200. It's total opening up at 7.5 and a pick 'em. Most books have juiced the under now. At 7.5. Let's take a look at where the cash lies here. And at this point, there are 3 teams that Sports Insight says has value. That being the Cubs, the Orioles, and the Twinkies. They have the most value on the board. 13,744 tickets in. 70% of the tickets on the Rays, 73% of cash on the Rays. Then we have 49% of tickets on the over and 69% of cash on the over, yet the under is now juiced. Means last year, 6-9, 3.62 ERA, 1.03 whip, 134 Ks, 26 walks. McClanahan, 10-6, 3.43 ERA last year, 1.27 whip, 141 Ks, 37 walks. In 2021, the Orioles had trouble against righties and smashed lefties. They 26th in the MLB against righties, 228 average with 681 OPS, while the Rays were versus lefties were 13th, 247 batting average, 743 OPS. Orioles preseason bullpen rank 28th, Rays preseason bullpen rank 10th, and Josh Lowe, number 2 ranked prospect in MLB, is expected to be on the field a lot, and that was the trade, the Austin Meadows trade to the Tigers. Take it away here, Bobano. Orioles, Rays.
Probably one of my top plays today, over 7.5 here. Orioles and Rays. Really like it. John Means I like. I don't like him against Tampa Bay. 5.4 ERA against the Rays last year. 9 ERA at Tropicana Field against the Rays last year. They did not treat John Means very nicely, this Rays lineup. And I think they'll probably do some more damage here against him. The Rays, you're right, 13th against lefties, but against this lefty, they clubbed him repeatedly. And I like the one thing about the Rays, other than Wander Franco, you don't have a bunch of guys that are, household big superstar names, but they all take good at bats. They're all patient. They work counts. They make a pitcher work on the mound. That's the hallmark of the Tampa Bay lineup. Yandy Diaz does that. Arozarena, Brandon Lau, professional hitters up and down this lineup for them. Kiermaier. I mean, they all make the pitcher work here right now. And I think they're going to make Means work. And look, if they even just get, 2 or 3 or 4 runs off Means, then the floodgates could open after that, because you're talking about arguably the worst bullpen in Major League Baseball last year, one of the worst. I don't think they're really all that much better this year. So I don't think the Rays may stop scoring even after Means leaves the game. I think they will probably score some runs against that bullpen of Baltimore, which I don't think is going to be very good again this year either. I like Salser. There's a couple of guys in that pen that are decent, but for the most part, that's not a very good pen. On the other side, one of the things Baltimore can do is hit. We can't trust them to pitch, but with Mullins and with Mountcastle and Anthony Santander, I mean, they've got some bats in that lineup. There's no question. And they do hit lefties. They'd hit lefties pretty well last year. Their numbers against McClanahan weren't terrible. And look, McClanahan's got good stuff. There's no question about that. But more than any previous recent season, Kevin Cash has some work to do to really work and pluck together this bullpen and this rotation, to be quite honest, with all the issues with the pitching staff. Glasnow's not going to be back for a long period of time to begin the season. So he's going to have to work a little bit, I think, to get this bullpen in order right away. And he even said that a couple days ago. Like he says, we're not necessarily set as well this year to begin the year with our starting rotation and our bullpen, as well as we've been set to begin, maybe a season before. And when you look at it, it's easy to understand why that is. When you talk about, Glasnow's not here. Shane Baz isn't ready to start the year either for the Tampa Bay Rays. So I think Baltimore can put some runs on the board here as well against McClanahan. You're always fearful Tampa Bay's bullpen can shut you down late, but Cash is basically saying my bullpen is far from set. And normally I'm ready to go with who I've got lined up in the relief spots, setup guy, closer, all that. It's a little bit more of an unknown commodity there right now for the Rays. So I think Baltimore can chip in some runs. Tampa Bay, I think, certainly will against Means and a bad bullpen. And you're only talking about 7.5. And talk about all these games with cold weather and all these venues with wind today. You won't have to deal with that at Tropicana Field. Nice climate-controlled indoor facility here. So that should help things as well. I like Orioles Rays over 7.5, minus 110.
I find that a very interesting look.
Actually, let's go better than that. DraftKings minus 105.
The Rays team total over is being offered to me at 4.5 at plus 110. I'm going to need to study this a little more, but I like it. Let's just go back to where the cash lies again here. We have 49% of the tickets and 69% of cash on the over, and it's moving slightly to the under, juice-wise. Michigan Mel says, I think I might take the Rays team total over now. He talked me into it. Perfect Rotation says, Orioles win outright, Rays are trash. Barry Smith says, lock it in, Jimmy. What do you think, Barry, the team total or just the full game over? John Thompson says Tampa will regress this season. Lots of strikeouts in the Rays lineup. I mean, it's easy to say regress after a 100-win season. And Mr. MDR24 says, sounds great, Bobano over 7.5. All right, so Bobano is locked in on the over 7.5. And Hunter says, if I had to pick the over or under at 7.5, I'm no doubt on the over. So I'm thinking that this may end up on my card here, and we were going to review everything, but let's keep rolling. Next up, 4:10 p.m. Eastern, Los Angeles Dodgers, 106-56 last year, 48-33 on the road at the Colorado Rockies, 74-87, 48-33 at home at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. So first and foremost, let's talk about the weather in Denver. We have clear, 64 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 8 miles per hour in, and it slowly dies down. 6.1 by 5 p.m., and by 6 p.m., it's down to 4.8. By the end of the game, it's down to 3 miles an hour. So it's going to be dying down. Not flush ounces. Every time I think of Jimmy betting on the Orioles, I just start laughing. Dumpster fire betting when betting Baltimore. Thank you. I'm glad I can bring some levity to your life, Not flush on, because I have bet the Orioles many times over the last couple of years. Let's go. So let's talk about the market move here. And we have the Dodgers opening up at minus 200. They've moved to 210, 215, and there's 220s now on the board. This total opened up at 11.5. We see our first 11s available. Let's go over to the cash flow here. We have 14,437 tickets in. 27% of the tickets are on Colorado and 65% of the cash. Then we have 68% of tickets on the under and 53% of cash on the under. And we've seen it go from 11.5 to 11. Sammy Comer, though, is on the 11. Viper says, don't do it, Jimmy. Look, I'm not going to bet on the Orioles. Don't worry. I have no interest in the Orioles today, right now. No interest whatsoever. Let's go. Let's go to the lineups here. They are confirmed for the Dodgers. Mookie Betts, Freeman at first base, Trey Turner, your new shortstop, everyday shortstop, with Seager out of the way. Turner, Muncy, Smith, Taylor, Bellinger, Lux. For the Rockies, Blackman, Bryant, Rogers, Cron, McMahon, Joe, Connor Joe DHing, Greichik. We don't care that you're gone. Randall Greichik, Elias Diaz, and then at short, Jose Iglesias still has a job, even though he doesn't have a bat. Walker Buehler, 16-4, 2.47 ERA, 0.97 WHIP, 212 Ks, 52 walks. Freeland last year, 7-8, 4.33 ERA, 1.42 WHIP, 105 Ks, 38 walks. In 2021, the Dodgers hit lefties hard. Their younger players hit lefties. If you remember 2 or 3 years ago, they were so streaky against lefties. And when they'd stop hitting lefties, they were a great fade against the left-handed pitcher. But their young guys are hitting lefties. They're 8th last year in 2021, hitting 243 with a 758 OPS versus lefties. And Rockies versus righties, 17th, 242 with a 713 OPS. Dodgers preseason bullpen rank 5th. Rockies preseason bullpen rank last. Buehler making his first opening day start for the Dodgers. Freeman there. And then, as we know, Seager has bounced. So Trey Turner, the first opening day shortstop other than Seager since Jimmy Rollins in 2015. And Chris Bryant will make his debut as the anchor of the Colorado Rockies lineup. Take it away, Bobano, Dodgers, Rockies.
Yeah, I don't really have much here. I'm passing on this game. Don't have a strong day. Maybe a under, actually, because look, Freeland, first 5 or full game split to the under. Maybe I'll lean that way. Buehler, I think, is going to pitch well here. He's one of these guys that actually, when he's pitched in Colorado before, he's been able to get the job done in the past. I think he could pitch well here as well against this Rockies team. The Rockies, by the way, they really chase a lot of pitches, and Buehler's got great movement on his stuff, so that could play well for him in this game. But don't forget, Kyle Freeland had a decent year, really good second half last year, and there were a couple starts against the Dodgers where he kind of tied them up, and didn't exactly pitch that badly against the Dodgers last year. So, obviously on opening day, look, I'm not laying more than minus 210 on the road with anybody. I don't care that it's the Dodgers and they bring in Freddie Freeland. Look, their lineup's going to be dangerous 1 through 9 once again this year. But just on opening day, I'm not laying minus 200 on the road. Am I going to take Colorado, though, at the same point in time? No. But maybe we can look toward possibly an under in the first 5 or the full game. If I were to play anything, that's where I'd look.
Yeah, I can understand having interest in the under, especially early when we know we have these pitchers that generally we can trust. I know it is opening day, but the wind blowing in much heavier early than it is late. Sharpie says, I love my team, but got to stay out Buehler in April. He doesn't pitch on the offseason and uses the spring and April to get ready. I don't see him going more than 80 pitches max. No, TJ, it's good to go. It's good to go.
And we talked about that with what Sharpie mentioned with Buehler. We talked about that with Giolito earlier, too. I mean, a guy with a really, really shaky track record in April. Something to pay attention to.
Hunter Engelhart, who you will see on the show this year, says, I know Freeland personally. He loves pitching at Coors, but I'm never fading the Dodgers lineup at Coors. MDR24 says, Freeland, a local kid, likes pitching at home, and I agree he was better as the season progressed. James Russell saying number of wins for a pitcher. Yeah, we don't care about the wins. James Russell focusing on XFIP and FIP. I get that. I get that. All right, that is the Dodgers Rockies spot. Let's just take one last look at this market that's gone from 11.5 to 11. And if I did have interest in you know what I think? Sharpie, what were his numbers in the spring? If you don't mind, if you could pull that up. Trot Wam said normally look no one first inning here, but I don't trust Walker Buehler. Okay, so that's going to take a little more thought here. But I'd be interested to know what his numbers were in the spring when he takes the offseason and doesn't throw. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board. Same time, 4:10 p.m. Eastern. Seattle Mariners 90-72, 44-37 on the road at the Minnesota Twins, 73-89, 35-46 on the road. We're at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let's take a look at what the weather is in Minnie. It's cold. Opens at 40 Fahrenheit. The wind is 15.8 miles per hour across the diamond, just a taint hair out, but basically just straight across the diamond. Then let's move on to the market in this spot. We have the Mariners opening up at minus 104. they're now at plus 105. You can find them at plus 100. This total opened up at 8, and we have the first books dropping it to 7.5. That being Bet 365 and Bet MGM have both moved it to 7.5. CT Bay says, I feel a 2-1 game after 5 innings in Minnesota. Will Ostermeyer says, no team to get to 5 runs in the Marlins game at plus 138. It's an interesting look right there. Sean Thompson liking the over 7.5 in Orioles Rays and under 7.5 in San Francisco Miami. But here in the Twinkies game, Hunter Engelhart is on the first 5 over 4 at plus 100 and the over 8 at plus 100 in this one. Robbie Ray going up against Joe Ryan. Let's take a look at where the cash lies here and see if that is any kind of help for us. And we have 9,167 tickets in, 47% of the tickets on the Twinkies, and 72% of the cash. And, we see the market moving in their direction slightly. Then we have 69% of tickets on the under and 66% of cash on the under. Sean Thompson on the Mariners money line. Robbie Ray, 13-7, 2.84 ERA, 1.04 whip, 248 Ks, 52 walks, and won the AL Cy Young for the Toronto Blue Jays. And it's a kiss of death. We've talked about many times, if I was general manager and you have a career year in your contract year, then you're gone. I'd be black and white about that, but I would tell nobody. So they wouldn't know that I was that much of a dick. But sorry, career year, goodbye. You'll regress. Joe Ryan on the other side, 2-1, 4.05 ERA, 0.79 whip, 30 Ks, 5 walks. So Joe will become the third pitcher since 1961 to make an opening day start within his first 6 career games. The first rookie to start opening day for the Twins since Tom Hall in 1969. When we talk about the Twins, we talk about Carlos Correa and the big free agent class signing for them. Let's take a look at this lineup for the Twinkies at home. Buxton, Correa, Polanco, Urshela, Sano, Kirilloff, Sanchez, Jeffers, and Kepler. For the Mariners, Frazier, France, Winker, Jesse Winker batting third, Haniger, Dini Suarez batting fifth, Kalinick, Rodriguez, Crawford, and Raleigh behind the plate. And that means that there he is at center field. Julio Rodriguez in center field. He is the number 3 prospect in Major League Baseball. So he joins Griff and Omar Vizquel as the only Mariners to debut on opening day at age 21 or younger. The 2021 Mariners versus Reds were just 25th with a 223 batting average, 684 OPS. You can expect those numbers to improve a great deal with who they've added in the offseason. In 2021, the Twins versus lefties were 22nd, 244 with a 724 OPS. Mariners preseason bullpen ranking 19th. Twins preseason bullpen ranking 8th. Here we go. Bobano, Mariners, Twinkies.
I like Minnesota team total over here, 3.5. That's what I'm going with. Let me see if I can find the price with that. I'm not convinced Robbie Ray can duplicate last year. I think it was a good situation. He had a great lineup behind him. He had Pete Walker, who's done great work with so many Blue Jays pitchers over the years. And I think it's going to be, and look, he threw a shit ton of innings last year as well, and high stress innings, down the stretch when the Blue Jays were in that playoff push late in the season. I think there's going to be some questions, at least for me, whether he can duplicate that. And when you look at the Twins, they were not great against lefties last year, but Byron Buxton's healthy. He was just mashing the ball in spring training. He's one of the best hitters the Twins have against lefty pitching this year. They bring in Carlos Correa from Houston, another guy that can hit lefties pretty well. I think that's definitely something to consider. I think they'll be a much better team against lefty pitching this year as a lineup, this Twins team. I was debating, do I go Twins first 5 or do I go with the team total? I decided the team total because the Twins bullpen's still a little bit of a question mark. I do like Ryan, though. Ryan definitely has some capability, I think, to be pretty solid here for the Minnesota Twins. I liked actually what he did last year. He looked sharp in the spring. His numbers there were pretty good last year. I thought he was more than steady, solid, kept the Twins in a lot of games, gave them a chance to win. So I think Joe Ryan's very capable for the Twins. So I don't hate the first 5 either on the Twins, but I thought, you know what? I like the team total just a little bit more, and I just want to focus in on, take the Minnesota pitching and the bullpen out of it and just focus on the Twins lineup against Ray, because I think they can have some success here in this first start for Ray with his new team. I like the Twins team total here over 3.5. Let me just see. You can get that minus 127 right now at Pinnacle.
Minus 127 at Pinnacle. And is there one more spot? I need to line. Can we, Bobano, can you take a second to help me get you the over 4 in White Sox Tigers?
Yes.
I fell behind and I didn't line shop appropriately. If you can just give me something, then I'll work on it.
Over 4, yeah, plus 100.
Plus 100. Thank you very much. Okay, over 4 at plus 100. All right. After breaking this down further, I find the Twins interesting, and I wonder if it's just because I wouldn't have signed Robbie Ray, and I don't want that storyline to get into any of my action here. Know something, by the way, from Minnesota, and he's hammering the Twins' first 5. His hometown, hammering the Twins' first 5. There's people on either side here. Sharpie says, Joe Ryan's my motherfucking guy. Says 4.5 strikeouts at minus 130 is my best play of the day. Says, get to know my guy. 12.5 Ks per 9 and a 0.79 whip in 2 years in the minors. Got his feet wet last season. Oh, Slatsy says, I heard the Brewers game is postponed. Oh, I'll take that. I'm so nervous about that spot all of a sudden, or throughout the early afternoon here. So I'll take that if that's the case. Okay, so Bobano is on the Twins team total over 3.5 at minus 127. If you are to believe the faith that sites have, like let's use Fangraphs as an example, in the Twins bullpen, they think this bullpen is much better than the Mariners bullpen. So, looking at the top, it's Taylor Rogers, 11.3 K per 9, 2.81 FIP, 1.9 WAR, and
that's the guy they're going to miss, obviously.
And so
there's a lot of unknowns like Romero, Colombi, Cotton, Caleb Thielbar, the lefty's been here a couple of years, the old sidewinder, Joe Smith.
So who closes without Rogers? Alcala?
It might be him. Yeah, it is. It's going to be Jorge Alcala. They've got him listed as the of course, they got Duffy and Pagan as well, Emilio Pagan. They've got some decent arms, but, we saw an unknown closer yesterday for San Diego. They're going with a brand new guy I've never heard of before, Suarez, and look what he did yesterday. He blew the game against Arizona. So, I'm always leery. These first-time closers, it's a different spot to be in as a reliever.
Man, just wish that I was not Flush Allen's son. Said, just received a call from Caden's teacher, and she wanted to inform me that he was caught watching the Masters in class. I gave her an oh no, then quickly asked her, can you ask him who's in the lead? Oh, man, you're a lucky man. What a family that is over there. Okay, so with Rogers out...
What, teacher had an issue? He was watching the Masters? Oh, come on.
So with Rogers out of the lineup, then the focus would be Joe Ryan, and expect him to do something magical here in the 6th game of his career on opening day in Minnesota. That doesn't sound unreasonable. If he's that special of a pitcher and Sharpie believes he is.
That's why I went team total. I don't want to bank on Joe Ryan. He might pitch well. I'm banking on Robbie Ray not being as good this year and a Twins lineup improving significantly against lefties this year with a healthy Buxton and Correa on the team.
That's expensive.
And actually, if you look at it, 6 out of the 9 hitters in the lineup today for the Twins last year above average against lefties they were. So, I think there's going to be some work to do for Robbie Ray to navigate through this Twins team today.
And Hunter Engelhardt says, if you like Joe Ryan, then Twins team total over is a no-brainer play in this one. All right, this is going to need more thought, but I want to be involved with Joe and the Twins today. Let's move on to 4:35 p.m. Eastern. Miami Marlins 67-95, 25-56 on the road at the San Francisco Giants, 107-55, 54-27 at home. And we have just the man in the chat, Nut Flush Allen, knows this Giants team inside and out. Oracle Park in San Francisco, California. Let's start with the weather here in Frisco. We have 64 Fahrenheit, and the wind grows throughout the game. 5.8 miles per hour out at 4, 9.4 miles per hour out at 5, 12.5 miles per hour out at 6. Now, we know that it's a swirling wind there in Frisco, and we don't take too much into it in Oracle Park. We have Sandy Alcantara going up against Logan Webb. Alcantara. Sorry, it's Alcantara. How do you, I forget, I remember I was pronouncing it wrong one year, and now I forget.
Alcantara. Yep.
Alcantara. Thank you. 9 and 15, 3.19 ERA, 1.07 whip, 201 Ks, 50 walks. Logan Webb getting the start here. A young man in this rotation. He had a great year last year. Was excellent at home. 11 and 3, 3.03 ERA, 1.11 whip, 158 Ks, 36 walks. Let's move to the odds here. We have the Giants opening up at minus 136 to get up to minus 145. This total opens up at 7 and is being pushed up to 7.5. Let's go over to the cash flow in this spot. We have the Giants opening up with 67% of the tickets and 81% of the cash. Then you have 63% of tickets on the under and 60% of cash on the under, and it's moved from 7 to 7.5. CT Base says first 5 under in San Francisco. This game might be scoreless after 5. Crystal Warren says, do teachers really call over insignificant stuff like that? My mom was a teacher and never called unless there was bloodshed involved. I respect that. I respect that very much. All right, so let's take a look at the opening day lineups here. We have confirmed lineup for the Giants: Yastrzemski, Belt, Duff, Peterson, Jock Peterson batting fourth, Crawford fifth, Flores, Estrada, Duggar, and Bart. And then we don't know the official lineup for Miami. I'll refresh it, but they think Jorge Soler will be off the top, and then Cooper will DH. Let me see if I get a confirmed lineup. Still no confirmed lineup. No confirmed lineup. So we have, where to go? Here we go. Sanchez, Aguilar, Garcia, Wendell, Rojas, Stallings, and Chisholm. Mr. Wendell, third base. So 2021 Marlins versus righties were 29th against righties. They were awful. 235 with 677 OPS. You can imagine that with the slight changes that they made, adding Aguilar, adding Soler, adding Avisail Garcia. Was Avisail Garcia? Why did I feel like I didn't? Yeah, he's batting fifth. So, Soler, Aguilar, Garcia should be able to hit righties harder. No Posey for the Giants this year, but the 11th opening day for both Brandon Belt and Brandon Crawford. The Giants hit righties hard last year, 5th in the MLB, 250 with 775 OPS. Marlins preseason bullpen rank 16th. Giants preseason bullpen rank 22nd. Take it away, Bobano. Marlins, Giants.
Yeah, I lean Miami here. I like Sandy. I think Sandy's going to be a bet-on pitcher. Am I going to take it, though? I haven't locked in anything yet, but the leans are Miami, and the leans are first 5 under. I think first 5 under might actually be a very good bet here. Logan Webb, look, he was great last year, no doubt about that, and almost unhittable here in the Bay Area. Terrific season. Part of me thinks he's not going to be quite nearly as dominant this year, but, I'd like to see him start first and before I, fully commit to that opinion that, wow, he's not going to be as good this year. But last year, obviously he was brilliant. He's a big reason why the Giants, won that division. Outstanding numbers from him a season ago. Like I say, he was just brilliant here on this field here in San Francisco. I don't think the Marlins lineup necessarily is one that's going to scare a lot of people, even with bringing in Soler, who, of course, just was magnificent in the postseason last year. It's still a lineup that's got some holes in it. It's got some outs in it for sure. On the flip side, I like Sandy Alcantara. Sandy Alcantara to me has a potential to have a dominant season. Last year there was even some stats that pointed out that his ERA could have been even better with a little bit better fortune. Had a little bit of bad luck attached to him last year with this Marlins team. But when I look at the Giants, I still don't really view them as a lineup that's going to hit, really strong pitching overall. They bring, of course, Brandon Crawford back, the old veteran, Jock Peterson here now, Belt. Obviously, Mike Yastrzemski going to be a great hitter for them long term. They got a lot out of Steven Duggar last year, but still a lineup I think that could be neutralized against a really good elite level top of the rotation type pitcher like a Sandy Alcantara. So I lean Marlins here because I've got Alcantara as a bet on pitcher. I have Miami as a bit of an undervalued bet on team as well coming into the year. But I would look toward lean Marlins. But more than anything, I think the thing that I like the most is that first 5 under, and that is under 4 minus 115 at Bet Online. Not going to lock it in as official, but there you go. I'll probably have small plays on those two things.
Now, Flashon says, telling you right now, Webb may have some regression, but my biggest concern is how the hell are the Giants going to score runs? Also, the vets saw very limited spring because Gabe wanted to rest them. Wow. Ricky Bobby says, first 5 under 3.5 at plus 104. Is it a good bet? Yeah, my local hanging that first 5 under 3.5 at plus 100. I would much, much, much rather have Bet Online's for a minus 115. Much, much, much rather. CT Base says, I will bet on Alcantara and Amalie as dogs this year. James Russell is careful back in the Marlins full game with a bad bullpen. Both these bullpens have not very little respect at this point. Yes, G. Martinez. Well, Marlins bullpen's ranked 16th by Fangraphs. Giants bullpen ranked 22nd. Will Ostermeyer says no team to score 5. Oh, this is the one that he was on. Will Ostermeyer is on this. No team to score 5 runs in this game at plus 138. All right. So a lean towards the first 5 under for Bobano. He may move on it, but it's not an official pick. Let's keep rolling. Next up, 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Okay, now we get to a very important part of what I did last year, and then I'm going to continue to do this year. And that was, we had some very interesting talks and conversations, especially around with gas station sushi, around whether there is momentum's not the right word necessarily, but whether yesterday matters. And I came to the conclusion that it doesn't in baseball. Now, maybe it does a slight bit, but less than in any other sport. So what I started doing last year was I didn't mention what happened yesterday or the day before. And I'm going to continue that. Now, if a team's on a lengthy streak, that's something that I will mention. But I'm not going to talk about what happened yesterday. It worked last year. It was the first year I did it. And I'm going to do it again. Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. We have Maximus Scherzer. And TJ says yesterday matters because of the bullpen usage. There's a good point. Okay. But not the result. That's great. I love that. TJ, I love that. And Dennis Garcia is saying Miami money line is the only play you need today. Miami money line is the only play you need today. And Nuplachan says with Posey leaving and the old vets having multiple World Series wins, they're going to be riding out the vets' careers. The old vets having multiple words. Okay. Sean Thompson, White Sox money line, A's money line, Mariners money line, and Diamondbacks run line. Let's talk about Maximus Scherzer going up against Josiah Gray in Washington. Let's first start with the weather in Washington. We have very light wind, 5.3 at the highest, 3.5 at the lowest. It does. Oh no, what the hell is that? That's messing with me. Sorry. 6.8 at the highest. So it is blowing out at 7, slightly out, more to the left field pole. Then at 8 p.m. it's blowing out to left, and then by 9 p.m. it switches completely, starts blowing in, but quite quietly. 56 Fahrenheit at opening pitch. Let's go to the market here. We have the Mets opening up at minus 150. They've moved to minus 155, 160, minus 172. This total opening up at 9.5 has moved to 9, and has moved to 8.5. Joe Yurkovich says trends are real in the NBA, not 1 or 2 games, but 4 or 5. You got to be interested. Well, we'll discuss that a lot throughout the season here. Scherzer versus Gray. Some would be surprised that Scherzer is just minus 155 right now. Let's go over to the cash flow and see if he's being backed heavy by his fans. We have 77% of the tickets on the Mets, but just 58% of the cash. Then you have 27% of tickets on the under and 93% of cash on the under. Sharpie says Scherzer's good for 90-plus pitches and Gray won't go past 80. So glad the Dodgers got rid of Gray. Funny these two were traded for each other. T-Mac says Washington can hit Scherzer well, 300 average against them. CT Bay says Mets offense will be undervalued because power just middle of the road. They will single and double teams to death. Yes, Bruce Hayward, that was if you had the Brewers in a 2-team parlay, that will turn into a straight bet. Okay, so let's take a look at the rosters. We only have expected rosters. Nemo, Marte, Lindor, Alonso, Cano, Escobar, Kanya, McNeil, McCann for the Mets. For the Nats, Hernandez, Soto, Cruz, Bell, Ruiz, Thomas, Franco, Escobar, and Robles. Let's talk about the 2021 Mets versus righties, 18th at 237 with a 709 OPS. Nats versus righties, 11th last year, 252, 735 OPS. Bullpen rank for the Mets preseason, 7th. Nats, 24th. Take it away, Bobano. Mets, Nationals.
Yeah, this is a pass for me. Obviously, Max Scherzer. I'm not really rushing to bet against Max Scherzer in his Mets debut. We know he's the kind of guy that is going to want to go out there and just absolutely dominate. And look, he's capable of doing that against the Washington Nationals. This isn't a great lineup. We already saw that last night. Tyler McGill and the Mets bullpen, and you only score one run, and you strand a bunch of opportunities. I mean, that tells you all you need to know. The Nats definitely do not have much outside of maybe Josh Bell, Juan Soto, and if he can still give you something in the age of 40, Nelson Cruz. And outside of that, that's not a great Nats lineup. This is a lineup Max Scherzer, in theory, should be able to handle. On the other side, you've got Josiah Gray for the Nats. Now, they really liked him when they got that trade done with the Dodgers. That's why he was included in the trade. But, he still has a lot of work to do. It's a big ask now. He's going to be the number 2 starter this year. But look, last year he had control issues. He had command issues. Walks were a problem. Hard hit contact was a problem. Now, he was very good, impeccable even with his command in the spring. 1 walk, 13 strikeouts. He still gave up a little bit in terms of hard hit contact. The home run ball was an issue. So he did rein in the command and control, though. So it kind of makes me think, let's just sit back tonight, see how Gray pitches. If he pitches well here against the Mets, then it could be a buy sign. If he's struggling again and the command and control was just a spring thing and those issues come back tonight and he's given up, doubles, extra base hits, home runs, those were an issue last year at times, then maybe we pump the brakes. But I think there's some hope for Josiah Gray to be a capable, competent, solid, steady, mid-tier of the rotation pitcher for the Nats. We'll see tonight. So, but I think the Mets are the side. I just don't want to lay this kind of price here. And Max Scherzer clearly going to be a very highly motivated individual to have a good start here with his Mets career. But it's well priced. I'm going to just sit. There's things, though, I want to watch in this game. I want to see how Max does, and I want to see how Gray does, because there were some things that I liked in the spring. Reining in the command and control was the chief thing that I liked about Gray's spring.
Interesting. There's Chief in the house. Piker says Nationals team total under first 5 is a lock. Says don't care what it is. And then our guy Real Deal Prime has a good point. And he says when Mad Max pitches, the group brings their best to the ballpark. And I think it will mean a lot to the Mets to succeed with Scherzer on the mound tonight. What would you have lined?
That's a pass, but it's pass for me. Yep.
What would you have lined this game at? I'm curious, but because I mean it's not an expensive price for Maximus Scherzer.
No, and even at the first 5 innings, you can get that at a really good price if you want to, knock it down even further, which I like to do. With these mid-range to, minus 150 to minus 200 favorites like the Mets are here, you can knock down first 5 innings and get minus a half at like minus 110, minus 115. So that's not a bad option. In fact, if I were to throw out something I might bet in this game later on, it might be that. Mets first 5, minus a half, minus 150. Having said that, I don't like the Nats pen, so I'd kind of like the full game to be part of the handicap for the Mets. And the second thing is I think Gray actually could be a little bit improved this year, maybe a little undervalued. And I'm looking for a reason to bet on Josiah Gray based on some of the things I liked about his spring. But I want to see it in a regular season game first.
I have interest in the Mets. I agree with CT Bays, who says that this same matchup will be minus 200 in a month. All right, let's move on to 7:07 p.m. Eastern, the Toronto Blue Jays home opener, the first real home opener we've had since 2019. Rangers are 60-102, 24-57. Blue Jays last year 91-71, 47-33. Homer Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario, and I have no future bets on the Blue Jays. I just couldn't do it at the prices that were available, and I had to stick to it, even though my fandom didn't like it. This total opened up at 8.5. It's moved to 9, and Bet365 moved it to 9.5. The Jays opened up at minus 164. You can get them at minus 160, but they go all the way up to minus 175. Not expensive. I'm looking for a good looking no-run first inning. What is the trickle-down process in 30 seconds for an education perspective? Sure. I mean, it's all matchups. This is all matchups. the first inning. That's the thing about capping a baseball game is you should take 2 hours on it. Spend 2 hours on it. There's so many different angles, so many other ways, so many ways to look at how to bet it. But it's just matchups, and if you feel like you have an advantage in that first inning, and we see lots of cappers take advantage of it and do great jobs with the no-run first inning. Let's roll here. Gray Barrios and opening day in Toronto. Let's take a look at the. Oh, we don't care about the weather. We got the dome. Let's take a look at the cash flow here in Toronto. We have. Where the hell? Here we go. And Sports Insights has Texas with the fourth highest value at this current price. And listen to this, too, Bobano. This is wild. So we have 14,551 tickets in. Public on the Jays, 76% of the tickets, but only 37% of the cash. All the big bets coming in on the Gray Wolf. This total opening up with 52% of tickets on the over. I shouldn't say opening up, 52% of tickets on the over, but just 24% of cash on the over. That's very strange. All very strange here. John Gray last year, 8-12, 4.59 ERA, 1.33 whip, under 57 Ks, 58 walks. Barrios, 12-9, 3.52 ERA, 1.06 whip, 24 Ks, 45 walks. In 2021, the Rangers versus Righties, 27th, 232 with a 678 OPS. We can imagine with Seager and Simeon in the lineup that will improve greatly. The Jays were number 1 versus Righties, 264 batting average, 794 OPS. Rangers preseason bullpen rank second last in MLB at 29th, while the Blue Jays preseason bullpen rank 13th. Let's take a quick look at the expected lineups here for the Rangers. Simeon and Seager right off the top. Then Mitch Garver, then Nate Lowe, Garcia, Miller, Calhoun, Ibanez, and then so we have Willie Calhoun DHing and Cole Calhoun in right field. For the Jays, we have Springer, Bichette, Guerrero, Hernandez, Gurriel, Matt Chapman, Raimel, Tapia, Kirk behind the plate, and Kevin Biggio batting ninth, turning the lineup over. Take it away here, Bobano. Rangers, Blue Jays.
Yeah, I like over 9 here in this game, and I think there's bet against pitchers on both sides. Did anybody like Barrios' spring? I didn't. And last year, at times, and there's also a lot of things that point toward him maybe going a little bit down this year. Not saying he's not going to be solid and steady and that he doesn't deserve to be the ace of this team, but I've got my concerns a little bit about Jose Barrios coming into the year. On the flip side, John Gray at this stage of his career. Now, I think there's going to be things that point toward him being better at times, but I think Toronto is going to unload on John Gray here today. You mentioned it. They were outstanding against righties. He, I think, is going to struggle to navigate. The one thing that John Gray did is he didn't miss the barrel of the bat last year enough. He left the pitches up in the zone. You do that here against the Toronto Blue Jays, you are going to be absolutely in trouble. And I think that is a very big concern that I have for Gray here against the Blue Jays. So I expect the Blue Jays to score runs off him, off a bad bullpen that Texas is likely to have behind him. I do think, though, like I said, not only Barrios, the Rangers can score a few runs tonight. The Jays still have some unsettled issues with their bullpen. I think Romano's going to be available for them. There was some concern he wouldn't be, but it looks like he'll be in the closer spot. But, Julian Merriweather, an X factor, can he bounce back? Adam Simber, can he have another good year out of the pen? David Phelps, has he still got something in the tank? Richards was up and down last year. Same with Timmy Meza, the lefty. I'm not a big Yimi Garcia fan, quite honestly. I don't think he's a great reliever by any stretch, and I know the Jays added him, but I think Texas, and the one thing about Texas, like with Baltimore, I don't think they're going to pitch a lick this year, but I do think they're capable of hitting a little bit. The Rangers lineup this year with the way it sets up for them, they bring in Marcus Semien, the former Blue Jay, Corey Seager. He's going to be a good bat for them, added to the lineup from the Dodgers. I do think there's going to be some ability for the Texas Rangers to hit the baseball a little bit. With Nathaniel Lau last year, he started to hit. Adolis Garcia was one of their better hitters for a large period of last year as well. So I think when it's all said and done, total's 9. It's reasonable. Look, if the Blue Jays are going to mash the ball as well as I think they will this year, you're going to look back on opening day tonight and say, wow, we got a 9 on a total involving a Toronto Blue Jays game. When you know damn well in the June and July, when the weather warms up and the roof's open in Toronto, you could see 10.5 be the regular total for games at the Rogers Center. So take advantage of the 9. I think this game will go over the total.
Piker asking, curious to see what side I'm on here. I don't know exactly what to do. Obviously, I think that there's a lot of emotion in Toronto and the young team. And
if I had more faith in Barrios and more, I didn't like what I saw in the spring. I didn't necessarily love at times how he pitched at Rogers Center in the second half last year. If I had more faith in Barrios, I'd be on Toronto in this spot. But that's why I deviated to the over instead.
Well, let's speed up here. We got 3 games left. We got to put a
Yep.
bow on this show, Bobano. So no action for either Bobano or I at this point in Texas, Toronto, and I'm comfortable with that at this
Yep.
point.
Yeah. Well, I think over 9, by the way, just so you got the best price available. Over 9 minus 110.
My bad. Sorry, I said you didn't have action. Bobano over 9 at minus 110.
Yep.
All right, we move on to 7:20 p.m. Eastern. Cincinnati Reds at Atlanta Braves at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. Reiver San Martin, the 25-year-old Colombian, will be making his 3rd career start. Last year, he made 2 starts, went 11 2/3, 12 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, and 11 Ks. We have a couple youngsters back-to-back. We have Reiver, and then we have Reed Detmers pitching next game that we're going to break down for the Angels. And a couple of very, very highly thought of young pitchers. Now, San Martin, 25, so not as young as Detmers, who's 22. In AA, split between AA and AAA last year, he went 10-2 with a 3.32 ERA, 1.16 whip, 112 Ks, and 28 walks. Very, very dangerous lefty that the Reds are throwing out, going up against Charlie Morton, 14-6, 3.34 ERA last year, 1.04 whip, 216 Ks, 58 walks. Let's take a look at the market in this spot. Reds open up plus 165. There's a 150, anywhere between 150 and 165. So slight move towards the Reds. It's total open up at 9, and the first couple of 8.5s are on the board at BetMGM and at Bet365. Then we go over to the weather in Atlanta. We have 48 Fahrenheit at opening pitch and 12.3 miles per hour out, then 10.1 and 9.4, but blowing out to left field. Cold, but blowing out. When we go over to the cash flow in this Braves spot, let's get over here quickly. Where the hell is we have an idea that there is some line value with the Reds right now. 28% of the tickets on the Reds and 49% of the cash. Then 67% of tickets on the under, but just 18% of cash on the under. So very, very, very interesting. Not a bunch of believers here. Let's 2021 Reds were 3rd versus righties, 258, 785 OPS. With the changes in lineup, we can expect regression there. And then the Braves versus lefties were 19th, 239 with 732 OPS. Reds preseason bullpen rank 17th. Braves preseason bullpen rank 4th. And the expected lineups: India, Naquin, Pham, Votto, Stevenson, Mustaka, Senzel, Moran, and Farmer. For the Braves, Albies, Olsen, Riley, Ozuna, Duvall, Rosario, Darno, Swanson, and Contreras. Take it away, Bobano. Reds, Braves.
Yeah, this is for me watch and observe game. Watch and observe game. You know, the Reds, a lot of people thought they'd be bad this year, and sure enough, they win the first game last night against the Braves. I'm mad at myself I didn't take Cincinnati because I really think throughout the course of the year, he's a bet-on pitcher, Tyler Mahle, for the Cincinnati Reds, and I was very frustrated. I left that off the board yesterday. But now with Atlanta off a loss, they got old man Morton, who's very capable still. And, you know, often he knows how to pitch here, especially in this ballpark, Truist Field. And look, Reiver San Martin, you know, he's a guy that came in last year for the Reds and pitched well down the stretch when he got those few appearances. He had a very good spring. His command was good. No question about that. And he's one of only 2 pitchers on this Red staff that are a lefty. So his value to the team is immeasurable because they don't have many lefty arms available to them, this Reds team. So let's see how he fares here against Atlanta. Like I say, this is probably dog or pass based on where the price is, but you do have Atlanta off a loss. Morton is usually pretty good in these kind of situations, and I'd expect him to pitch pretty well here. Look, the Reds kind of surprised me offensively with what they were able to do against Max Fried because I thought this lineup may be a little bit weaker than it was last year. But I still think in terms of the price where it is, it's not terrible to look toward maybe taking a shot with the Reds here, but I'm going to stay off it here. I'd want to see what San Martin does here in this first start tonight.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of volatility here with this lefty against a Braves team that didn't smash lefties last year. He could be an extremely dangerous pitcher as we move forward for the Reds. Numbers in AA, AAA last year were spectacular. And then when he came in, as you said, 2 starts and 2 earned runs. So, and 11 Ks to 2 walks as well. But he did allow 12 hits. But interesting. Yeah, I think this is it's Reds or no bet, but I think I'm going to watch this one. Let's go to 9:38 p.m. Eastern. Houston Astros, LA Angels, Angel Stadium, Anaheim, California. We got Odorizzi versus Detmers. Odorizzi versus Detmers. Let's take a look at what we are getting with market move here. The Angels open up at -130. They're down to -120. Total open up at 9. It is shot up to 9.5. We have another hot night in Los Angeles. 94 miles per hour opening pitch, and it's blowing out at 10 miles per hour. That stops almost immediately. Within an hour, it cuts in half to 5 miles per hour. But it's hot early, very hot early. Odorizzi versus Detmers. Let's take a look at the cash flow here in this spot. We have, is there been a change? Is it not Detmers? Has it moved to Sandoval?
I still see Detmers replaced Sandoval.
Okay,
Sandoval's
cool.
to start Tuesday now. They
cool. Yeah,
days. Yep.
I had all my prep with Detmers, so I was just got a little scared here when I saw it on Sports Insights. 7,036 tickets in. 71% of the tickets, 90% of the cash on Odorizzi and the Astros. Wow. 66% of tickets, 92% of the cash on the over. We've seen it move up a half. Very, very interesting. Sharpie says, is Reed Detmers ready for the majors? Only 8 innings in AAA, and it hurt him last year. Drafted 10th overall in 2020. Yeah, he came out of Louisville Cardinals. So he spent most of his time in AA, where he dominated. If you combine AA and AAA, the numbers are really good, but it's a very important point that Sharpie's making. If you combine the numbers, AA, AAA, 3 and 4, 3.19 ERA, 1.15 WHIP, 108 Ks in 62 innings. Ricky Levine says Detmers was terrible when he was brought up last year. 5 starts. He went 20 and 2/3, 26 hits, 17 earned runs, 19 Ks, 11 walks, allowed 5 home runs and 20 and 2/3. Very, very interesting. In 2021, Astros versus lefties, 4th. 277.89 OPS. 2021 Angels versus righties were 20th, but we know those numbers should improve with Trout for a full year. Astros preseason bullpen ranked 12th. Angels 6th. Take it away, Bobano. Astros, Angels.
I do lean Angels and Detmers here. After losing last night, the first game, and I think this is a situation where, you could really see him pitch better. I don't know if I want to pull the trigger, though, for 2 reasons. First of all, Detmers did pitch well, AA, AAA, but we know what the ERA was with the Angels last year, 7.4. It was ugly. He was just not really ready for major league duty last year. But I did like his spring. Joe Madden keeps saying he's got just a boatload of potential and a very high ceiling to improve. The question is going to be, does it happen right away? And I don't know if I'm ready to bet it yet. I want to fade Odorizzi. Odorizzi did not pitch consistently last year. He's a journeyman pitcher. He is what he is, a fringe arm at this stage of his career. That's what he is. And he struggled against the Angels last year, 5 ERA against the Angels. So I think there's reasons to kind of what I might do here is, because I'm unsure about Detmers, maybe look at a team total 4.5 over for the Angels. That does appeal to me a little bit. I think you'll see them hit better. Now, I didn't expect Valdez is a good pitcher, but still, those were a lot of feeble at bats last night for the Angels, and that's bothersome. I saw Trout kind of struggle. I saw Ohtani had a tough night. Anthony Rendon, I'm worried about him that maybe he ain't going to be maybe quite what he was earlier in his career with the Nats and before all these injuries. I mean, Rendon really looked terrible at the plate last night, so that does concern me here. The Angels line up a little overrated, even though it seems like they should be able to hit with everybody back now. And Joe Adell's got to stop chasing pitches. Holy mackerel. I mean, that guy is he's got to be a little bit more patient. Last night, he's swinging at everything. So some bad early signs from that Angels lineup. So that might keep me off the sidelines, but I lean Angels money line. I lean Angels team total over 4.5 because Odorizzi's kind of a bet against for me right now.
Yeah, I need to watch Detmers pitch as well, but I can understand both of those leans. Shout out to Preston Burke. Says, my thanks to your love and passion for our sport, a sport in itself, and it involves great info. We love you, Preston. Thank you very much for the dono and the kind words. Lou Chase Fox says, Odorizzi's trashy for sure. He's not a bet on pitcher. That being said, the Halos look cold. And Devers, 2-run bomb for the Red Sox. You are in business. Bobano.
I like that. First 5 full game split. Come on. Keep it up.
Final game here, Padres, Diamondbacks, Manaea versus Merrill Kelly. I thought, and I made money off Merrill Kelly at home last year. I know he only went 7-11, with 4.44 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, but he was huge dogs. He was a huge dog at home, and I started backing him because I still believe in this pitcher. Manaea on the other side, 11 and 10, 3.91 ERA, 1.23 WHIP, 194 Ks. Let's just take a look first. Oh, we know that the roof is closed, so we don't need to worry there. And then we go over to the odds. We have the Padres opening up at minus 150. Now they're minus 134, 135. This total opened up at 9. There are 9.5s now on the board. When we look at the cash, we have just 4,564 tickets in, 33% of the tickets, 78% of the cash on Arizona, and 57% of the tickets, 98% of cash on the under. That's very confusing as it's gone up a half run. So Padres versus righties in 2021, 12th, 243, 729 OPS. The Diamondbacks hit lefties last year, 14th, 253 with a 741 OPS. They couldn't hit righties, but they could hit lefties. Padres preseason bullpen rank 11th, Diamondbacks 26th. Take it away, and now 3-0. 3-0 Red Sox. Man, take it away here, Bobano. Padres, Diamondbacks.
He doesn't even have anybody out yet, Garrett Cole. What's it been? It's been like a walk, 2-run home run, loud single off the wall, double into the corner. I mean, welcome to 2022, Garrett Cole. Holy mackerel. Anyway, San Diego, Arizona. I echo your sentiment about Kelly. You know, Kelly's a capable pitcher. He pitched well at home last year. San Diego, I thought, look, they got rid of a manager that Jace Tingler was over his head last year, no question. I thought Bob Melvin coming in was big, breath of fresh air, steady force, knows how to manage a ball club. But boy, what an ominous start. I mean, they have the lead most of the night, and they give it up in the 9th inning. And on National Beer Day, Seth Beer walks it off for the Diamondbacks last night. So tough first loss for the Padres. Now, Manaea, going to be interesting now. They bring him in from the Oakland Athletics. Late trade just happened a few weeks ago. 3.91 ERA last year. Reunited with Bob Melvin. So pretty interesting now that Melvin had him in Oakland. Now he's got him here. 4.2 ERA against the Diamondbacks. Not necessarily great. Kelly's pitched well against San Diego in the past. 2.6 ERA. And look, Diamondbacks supposed to be a team that's going to struggle again this year, but like a lot of these teams that are supposed to be bad, when they get off to a strong start, you don't necessarily want to get in the way of that momentum. So you're seeing Arizona play well. I haven't bet it yet. Don't know if I will. Probably won't, but I lean Arizona a little bit here. First 5 full game. You could split it up if you want, but I think Merrill Kelly at home is going to be someone that is going to be a bet-on pitcher and could make you some money this year.
Well, I'm going to go as far as betting him first 5.
There you go.
I'm going to back Arizona. It's plus 120 right now. I'll see what it is after the show. Bobano, spectacular.
Maybe the Padres aren't going to get their shit together till Tatis comes back. We have to factor that in because I didn't like what I saw from that lineup last night, first night without him.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. All right, let's review all action. We got NBA and we got Wham Bam ready to attack the NBA card. Ron Crawford in NHL spreadsheet play today is Colorado -1. And in baseball, it's Philadelphia -1. Taint play today is Detroit Tigers first 5 at plus 115. And Rusty Kuntz play today, Jose Altuve over a half single at -115. In NHL, Bobano is on the Sabres plus 1.5, plus 155. The over 7 at -110, and the Sabres team total over 2.5 at plus 110. Islanders, Hurricanes, no action. He's on the over 6 in Minnesota Wild, St. Louis Blues, which I do have interest in. And then he's on the over 6 in Colorado, Winnipeg at -120, and the Jets first period at plus 137. And TJ back in action, and he said he's on Minnesota first 5 -120, Mets -1 -121, Detroit first 5 plus 105, Oakland, Philadelphia first 5 under 4 -105, and Boston, New York first 5 under 4.5 -125. And the start in Cole's start is not going to help him as that live total is now up to 11.5. So Bobano's action, he's on first 5 Red Sox at plus 145, full game at plus 156 on his way for his first casher here. And also, Sharpie says, tune in after Jimmy Bag on Pub Sports as he breaks down the late-night MLB games in a prop type of way. It was a great show. I watched it yesterday, so please support. We got a ton of baseball on our channel and great cappers with all different insights and different angles. So we have Sharpie's show combined with prize picks. And then we have Say Hey Plays starring Jose Bouquet, and that's at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Bobano's on the over 4 plus 100 in Chicago, Detroit. Thank God the Brewers game got scratched. I was very uncomfortable with my bet there. Oakland, Philadelphia, no movement. Bobano's on Baltimore, Tampa Bay over 7.5 minus 105. I'm interested in the Rays team total over, and I'm interested in the full game over. I'm interested. I'm interested. I'm not. I'm going to move on something there. The first 5 under is not going to be part of my action here in Dodgers, Colorado. Although I had planned it to be, but it's not going to be. And great stuff from Sharpie in the chat there. Bobano's on the Twins team total over 3.5 minus 127. I'm either going to be on the Twins first 5 or the Twins team total over as well. The first 5 under, it's tough in Miami, San Francisco. I'm being offered a 3.5. I don't like that. Mets -1, I will move on. Bobano. Oh, sorry, Mets -1. I'll move on.
1-0 White Sox, by the way.
Sorry, say that, my man.
1-0 White Sox.
1-0 White Sox. Bobano's on the over 9 in Rangers, Blue Jays, Reds, Braves, no action. Astros, Angels, no action. And I will be moving on the Diamondbacks first 5. There you have it, Bobano. Spectacular work. I can't wait to do this again with you next Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, my friend. And kill it today. NBA Pub Hub, 4 p.m. Eastern, just 2 hours and 26 minutes away.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I'll see you guys on the Pub Hub. Enjoy the games and good luck. Let's cash some tickets for a Friday and get the weekend started right.
There he is, Bobano, and now follow him on Twitter at Bobano. Your next guest has had great patience for us. As the beginning of the season, I'm figuring out how long it takes to cap these games, and that went a little long. But he is ready to rock. Please welcome to the show from Los Angeles, California, by way of Compton, through Long Beach, now here with us right now. Please make some noise for Trot Wam in the house. Wham Bam, how are you, my man?
I'm feeling good, feeling great. Of course, can't wait to get this car cap, man. Feel like it's a lot of movement as well. Last couple of games in the NBA, man. So, which games, what opportunities we have available to us, man. It's really interesting to do it with you always, bro. Shout out to the chat, Sharpie, Bruce, Real Deal Prime, Mark, JPZ knows something because he does know something. I appreciate you, bro. You already know. But yeah, man, let's get it.
Let's get right to work. I have hit now 10 of my last 11 in NBA. So, Wham, I've gone from down 23 units on the year to plus 4.18 units. I've done the switch. I've done the flip.
That's
right. Cash Bucks first quarter minus 2.5. Spurs plus 7.5. Spurs team total over 116. Nuggets minus 4.5 to go 4-0 last night. And it's all based on the great work that the experts that we have on the show, like yourself, have done. Let's get right to work and attack. We start with Milwaukee, Detroit Pistons. Dan Kelly's already given us the fourth quarter. Milwaukee, Detroit over 57.5. Bucks 50-30, 23-16 on the road at the Pistons, 23-57, 13-27 at home. We're at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Milwaukee 3-2 over the past 5, 11th in pace at 100.7 possessions a game, while Detroit is 3-2, 19th in pace at 98.50 possessions a game. Milwaukee opening up at minus 10, all the way down to 4.5. Because I was focusing so much on baseball, when it finally got on my radar, of course, the Bucks are going to be sitting people. I could have got the Pistons at plus 5.5, and I was like, well, if you just want to beat the market move, clearly the Bucks are going to sit people, and you can beat the market move. I was like, you know what? I'm fine just sitting back and fucking studying this shit. Total opened up at 228.5. Now it's between 227.5 and 228.5. When we go over to where the cash lies here, we have 7,086 tickets in, 75% of the tickets, 79% of the cash on the Bucks. I mean, that's crazy to me. That's on the spread, of course. We moved back to spread. Baseball, we do money line. Total 66% of the tickets on the over, 68% of cash on the over. Bucks coming off their second half of a back-to-back after defeating Celtics at home last night, 127-121 for their second straight win. Drew goes for 29-8-8. Antetokounmpo goes for 29-11 boards. Middleton 22-9-8. Grayson Allen still dealing with his hip injury. Pistons had their 3-game winning streak snapped in a 131-113 loss at home to the Mavericks on Wednesday. Cade 25-9-7. Isaiah Stewart goes for 19-14. Braxton Key goes for 14-5 off the bench. Cade's been playing very well when he's been in the lineup. At least 20 points in 12 of his past 16 games. Marvin Bagley not going to be in the lineup. Corey Joseph questionable with a back injury. Kelly Olynyk questionable. And day-to-day. So he missed the game with Dallas due to rest, but he's still listed as day-to-day. Rodney McGruder day-to-day with a hip injury. Take it away. They're not 17-0 against the spread, Luchase, because they lost their last game against the spread. They got beaten up badly by the Mavs. Take it away here. Wham Bam, Bucks Pistons.
Yeah, man, the Pistons, bro, they still been covering though. You know what I mean? They still been covering, acting like they really care. The 2 games for both of these teams, the last home game for the Pistons. So I think they try to do a little bit more, for their home crowd, maybe give a little push there. But the Bucks, I mean, they kind of been giving it up, or they can't give up in this game. So, like you said, they're probably gonna sit guys. I mean, it just seems like it's screaming that way, but um, at this point, it don't seem like it at all. What do they have to play for, bro? I mean, looking at this, they're already pretty much locked in. They probably have to. They're probably not trying to face the Nets, or maybe trying to avoid one of these teams here. But I think the Cavs actually might be in that 7th spot, and I'm talking about that a little bit later on today. But in this cabin, but I think if the Bucks, because they play first, what they show today is kind of what they're showing with who they want to play. They have all their guys in there today. They obviously want to play either the Cavs or the Brooklyn Nets. And if they don't, have the guys sitting, they could fall to that 3rd spot and play a totally different team in the second round, in the first round of the playoffs. So I think that's probably what's going to happen here. I think you're going to see them probably come out here and play. And if they come out here and play and beat up this Pistons teams, I won't be surprised. This is a tough game. I think Cade still hoops. I do want to see how the big man rotation is going to be. Obviously, without Marvin Bagley, you're going to see Isaiah Stewart. And you said Isaiah Key was his name? Is it not Isaiah Key? With Brandon Key. Brandon Key. He looked great, though. He looked great. And then, honestly, I would see them play him more on the offensive side, because you're not going to get that much out of Isaiah Stewart on the offensive side, besides like tip-ins and shit like that. So, this is an experiment time of the year, bro. You know what I mean? And the way I look at it, I think the Detroit Pistons, they already showed us that they don't care about playing Cade full game or, for the full ride. If he's going to get Rookie of the Year, he's going to get it already. I think that's kind of how they're approaching it. But I could see him getting a full run. It's just that I don't trust it enough to bet the K prop. That's what probably would be the only thing I'll see on the Pistons. Other than that, the Bucks start their guys today. I think I'm going to be on the Bucks smash spot. I think they probably come out here and try to roll the Pistons, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's moved from 5.5 now to 5. And, Jared TG has a great point. Pistons are fighting with OKC for that 3rd draft pick. They both need to lose because this is viewed as a 3-man draft class. This game makes me extremely uncomfortable. And if I wasn't on this winning streak, I probably would have moved on the Pistons last night, expecting the Bucks to sit everybody, which they may still do.
They still do, yeah.
But it doesn't matter to me. I just doesn't matter to me. So let's just move past it here. But if there's an opportunity to make money, let's make that money. And Rizzo Dong 3-2 now. Sam I.M. says, I like Scotty Barnes to win Rookie of the Year. Oh, please, God. That would change my financial future. And I'd also given up on it. Wham, I thought it was a loss. I'd let go. This is what I hate about gambling. It's when you give up on a loser, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, I have a chance, and then you lose. And I hate that what you've let go of it, and then you get all this hope back, and then
yo-yo effect.
You get punched in the fucking larynx.
The yo-yo drops right in the mud.
Oh, God. New York Knicks, 35-45, 19-21 on the road to the Washington Wizards, 35-45, 21-19 at home. We're at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. The Knicks are 2-3 over their past 5, 26th in pace at 97.4 possessions a game, while Washington is 3-2, 13th in pace at 100.1 possessions a game. We have the Knicks opening up as 1-point dogs. They quickly move to 4-point favorites. Huge move towards the New York Knicks. This total opened up at 218. It's now up to 222.5. Let's see if the money works there. We have 5,346 tickets in. 49% of tickets, 56% of the cash on the Knicks. So, and 78% of tickets, 74% of cash on the over. And that makes sense because that total has gone from 218 up to 222.5 or 223. The Knicks coming off their 3rd loss in 4 games, 110-98 at home to the Nets on Wednesday. 15th time this season, the Knicks lost a game which they led by 10, at least 10. The 5th time they lost after leading by at least 20. Wizards coming off their 2nd loss in 3 games, 118-103 at the Hawks on Wednesday. Small Dick Zingis and Daniel Gafford look pretty good together. Although, they lost badly in their last game, but they still look pretty good together. Take it away, Wham Bam, Knicks, Wizards.
Yeah, man, I think the line movement is based off of what you said. They got their ass whooped and almost pulled it off, man. Fucked off a 21 point lead to the Brooklyn Nets to end up losing, bro. That has to sting. So I think a lot of the money is coming in with that type of motivation, hoping that they bounce back. I mean, the Wizards, man, they don't defend for shit, bro. They're not eighth. They're scoring though. They're scoring. So they're eighth. I'm sorry, ninth in offensive rating, eighth in true shooting. They have been scoring. It's just that they can't defend, bro. It's just like if you're gonna take anything with this Wizards team, I kind of want to go against this market move, and I want to look into the Wizards. To be honest with you, and maybe I'm trying to be too sharp here in this matter here, but I think that they could shoot a lot better than the freaking Knicks. I mean, that's what they've been showing already over the last few games, last 5 games. Knicks true shooting is at 28th, ranked 28th in that same 5 games. So I think that they can find a way to make some type of offensive better play. They have better offensive players like Corey Kispert, KCP, who's going to be out of the lineup today, I believe. But they got these young guys, Rui Hachimura, contenders to the backwood of the season. Hey, this could be a backwood, though. I'm not going to lie. This could be a backwood, but I'm trying to talk myself into the Wizards. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, I see the Wizards possibly winning this game, and then this could be a backwood. I haven't bet this game at all, so maybe I should. The way the chat firing this shit up. Rob Free, he fired it. They fired this shit up. I ain't mad at y'all though, but I ain't mad though. The only reason why I like the Wizards is just based off of they've been shooting a lot better, and I can see the motivation for the Knicks for sure. Jericho Sims going to get a lot of run. They're not going to have one of their bigs there. It's going to be Obi Toppin and Jericho Sims pretty much down low. Obi Toppin, I mean, he's hit over 18.5 points last 3 games, 20, 20, and 19. I think the line is set pretty fucking high, bro. So I'm not going to take the Obi Toppin points prop if you have a question there. But other than that, this is another backwood. They fired this shit up, bro. I think they already know what's going to happen. This probably is a backwood.
What do you think of Nutflush's look? Did he find something in this game? Washington team total?
I can see that though, and you know what? This crazy is that the Knicks been playing good defense, of course, but I believe that if you're giving these guys the same amount of possessions, you're going to see the Wizards be able to convert better on offense. I think so. Yeah, man, I can see the team total. It's pretty high though, isn't that kind of high? Like 110 points. Maybe it's because they were originally favorites and it got switched over, but. I don't know, man. That's pretty high, though. I ain't gonna lie. I will be hoping for a 108, just to get to 110, 110,
Yeah,
but it is a push.
They're offering it me at 109.5. That's going to be something I look into. I think he may have
That makes
found
sense.
something. And, Viper knows me and my love of bum fights, so I'm interested. Let's move on to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Cavaliers 43-37, 19-21 on the road at Brooklyn Nets, 42-38, 18-21 at home at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Cleveland 1-4 over their past 5, 25th in pace at 97.6 possessions a game, while Brooklyn is 3-2, 5th in pace at 102.66 possessions a game. We have the Cavs opening up as 7-point dogs, now 8.5-point dogs. This total opening up at 229 is now down to 232 or 232.5. We go over to the cash flow here. 38% of the tickets on the Cavs, 33% of the cash. 62% of tickets on the over, but just 30% of cash. Interesting. Let's just take a look at that total one more time. It's gone up to 232 or 232.5. A Cleveland Cavalier team that's clearly tanking, coming off their second straight loss, 121-15 at the Magic on Tuesday night. They're 6-10 since Allen fractured his finger. Mobley's missed the past 5 games with an ankle injury. Do we know if Mobley's going to be back here for this?
I believe not in this game. I believe he may be coming back in the next game. But this is a game that they have him. I know they have him coming back soon though. They say he could be available within the next 2 games. That's what the report was. But I'm not sure if they, kind of labeled which game it was going to be because they both play on Sunday. I wouldn't be surprised if they play that game, especially this is being one of the more important games. But again, if he's ready, I don't know, bro. This could be a sneaky game.
I just hope he comes out there and then buckles once again because
no.
I need Scotty Barnes to win Rookie of the Year. So I need them I want him to walk. I want him to run out there and just buckle. The Nets come in off their second straight win, 110-98. The Knicks on Wednesday night. Nets held the Knicks to 38.6% from the field and did not allow a field goal for the final 7 minutes and 10 seconds.
That's crazy.
So at this point, Nets and the Hawks have the same record. The Nets are a game and a half ahead of the Hornets. And that's the situation. Take it away here, Bam, Cavs, Nets.
Did it take a lot of energy to do all that? That's how I'm approaching this game. Who's the better rested team? The Cavaliers, of course. That's another reason why I think if they hold out on Evan Mobley, that makes even more sense because they knocked down this team without him. That'll be a good look. I still like the Moses kid. They signed him for sure for the rest of the season, so that gives me a good look that they at least have somebody there that still going to be able to get those dump offs to Darius Garland. Darius Garland somewhere we're going to attack here. This is the official play for me. It's going to be Darius Garland, a double-double at -120, available at FanDuel, I believe. You should be able to get that, or you could get the 9.5 assists. Obviously, the points, I think he's going to get 10 points, so you're taking either one or the other. The 9.5 assists is better juice, though, so you're getting -103. 9.5 is hit just as much as the double-double, of course. The 9.5 is I believe it's hit 6 out of the last 9 times, 12 out of the last 17 times, at a 70% rate over the last 17 games. It's been hitting that right there. And then as far as these teams is playing pretty good defense, like you did mention, with on the perimeter. So they are ranked, I believe, 3rd in that regard as far as giving up assists to guards. This is Darius Garland we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. This is not the average guard that you're going to see on a regular basis. I believe he's already averaging 9.7 assists against Brooklyn. He's played them 3 times already this year. This is one of my favorite plays of the day, in my opinion. I think Darius Garland does. This game means a lot for both teams. This is the only game that we talked about that has real motivation behind it, because Brooklyn, if they win this game, they're going to have the tiebreaker. They're going to lock in home court in the play-in for the 7th seed. They're going to lock that in today. Cavaliers, if they win today, they'll be tied. So it'll be one of those games that Brooklyn has to play again on Sunday, which both of these teams do play on Sunday. It's just about if Brooklyn wins this game, they don't got to play nobody on Sunday. They could just get a little bit rested, get ready for Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever the game time is.
Wow. Kristaps Porzingis not playing, maintenance day.
I seen that.
Yeah.
That shit crazy.
Okay, so Kristaps Porzingis not playing, maintenance day. And that's why the big market move happened, because it didn't happen through cash. Okay, very, very interesting there. And this spot, because the Brooklyn Nets have been so bad early, and look at this stat from Sammy Comer, 122-1 against the spread last 24 as a home favorite. Is there any chance that they want to handle this business early? Or do you think that they just don't care early? There's so much patience because they know they can take care of business late.
Such a telling stat, Sam. Sam is fucking. Isn't Sam? Sam was on a crazy run too. Give it up to Sam, bro.
Yeah, he's
killing, man. Sure,
Yeah.
There's always love, bro. Seeing somebody like Sam that comes here every day, always show love, bro. Killing, man. That's all love. But yeah, I think you can be right. I think you can be right. And now you should say that. Let me pull up their actual home first half stats, because I did have some first half stats up already. And let's see here, Brooklyn Nets. So they're 6-4 over the last 10 games. Obviously, for the season, it's not going to be good, but they're 18-19 in the last 5 games at the house. They're 4-1 against the spread in the first half. So they have been doing it recently. That could make some sense there. And we know, I mean, I would look at the Cavaliers notes, but we know recently they've been just really bad early on in the first half. I believe on the road, they're one of the worst teams. Yeah, one of the worst teams. That's 3-6 last 10 in a row in the first half. So they can't possibly give it up there. As far as the trends say, take Brooklyn in the first half. But again, I just think that the way I'm attacking it, at least, I'm not taking the Cavaliers, but I'm hoping that the Cavaliers, play really well in this game, and Darius Garland gets that double-double.
Well, Wham is on the board. Darius Garland double-double at -120. Chill Will says, Wham, how do you feel about the under here? Let's just review very quickly. The total has gone up from 229 to 232.5, and the bets seem to be coming in on the under. Public is on the over, 61% of the tickets, but just 71% or just 29% of the cash is on that over. So the big bet's coming in on the under. What do you think of that total?
That makes sense. I mean, again, this is one of the first games that we talked about that has some type of motivation. This is a high total. I mean, both defenses kind of tend to give it up as of recently, though. I mean, a little bit better for the Brooklyn Nets, surprisingly, if so. Like they've been the better defensive team there. Ranked 7th defensive rating over the last 5 games. Just the Cavs, man. I just believe, bro, that this is one of those lock-in games for them. So I could see them figuring out the defense in this game. It's going to be about who's going to be guarding KD for the Cavs. So, I wouldn't be surprised, like my guy said, if Evan Mobley comes out there. I just hope he doesn't buckle his knee. I just hope he doesn't buckle his knee and fuck off this double for me and get blown out. Pull my guy Garland because they're cool with the 8 seed. So I hope that's not the case. But yeah, no, I think the under is a sharp play. I think that makes sense. And then you already said the money's coming in on that side anyway. So I'll follow the money, bro.
Yeah, and Luchase Fox saying D will be played in a slow-paced game. All right, very interesting. And Chill Will, thank you for asking that question. I have interest in it. I'm going to study it a little more, but that would be the under 232.5. And I'll put some asterisks there. Okay, let's move on. Next up, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Houston Rockets 20-60, 9-31 on the road at the Raptors, 47-33, 23-17 at home. Now that we're talking about Barnes winning Rookie of the Year, if Nurse wins the
Coach of the Year,
yeah, then I won't show up for a couple weeks. I'm just gonna
As
fuck
you
off.
shouldn't. You should enjoy yourself, sir.
I got 50-1 and 70-1. Now, look, we know that Monty's, gonna win it, whatever, right? I mean,
right.
But look what Nurse has done: 47-33.
I thought this was a lottery year coming in. This was crazy. Scotty Barnes probably should deserve it just based off of that. Everyone's expectations of Toronto. That is the truth, like right there. I mean, you could say the same thing about the Cavs, but neither here nor there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. If Nurse wins Coach of the Year, I'm just not gonna be here for a few weeks. And Houston 0-5, third in pace over that 5-game span, 104.2 possessions a game, while Toronto 4-1, 22nd in pace, 98.10 possessions a game. Did I skip the Heat game? No.
No, I think we got that one coming up.
Yeah, we're good. We're money here. Okay, so the Rockets opened up at plus 14, now 12, now 11.5. This total opening up at 229, now 227.5. And the cash has the 5,700 tickets in. 61% of the tickets are on the Raptors and 9% of the cash. Of course, I should have already been on this, but I was so focused on basketball or baseball. Rockets come in off their 5th straight loss, 118-105 at Brooklyn on Tuesday night. And they've clinched it, right? They were close to climbing out of the cellar. They won 3 of 4, but then they sat Gordon, Schroeder, and Wood. And, Jalen Green has 5 consecutive 30-point games. So they've clinched it, I believe. Sammy says, never doubt Masai. Oh, I've never doubted Masai. He's our greatest Canadian. And he is Canadian. Don't let anyone tell you any fucking different. He is our greatest Canadian.
That's facts.
And if he wants
your people.
If he wants to be prime minister of our country, he can have anything he wants, whatever he wants. Masai is the greatest Canadian. He's ahead of, look, who's he ahead of? He's ahead of John Candy, Walter Gretzky, Tommy Douglas. Raptors are on the second half of a back-to-back after defeating the Sixers 119-114 at home last night. And they have the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. And Chicago owns the tiebreaker, but I don't think it's going to come to that. And it's time to rest. Van Fleet's going to rest for the rest of the season, that we hope. We also, because we're not in the playing game, we'll have like 6 or 7 days in between the end of the playoffs and our first game. And Anunoby rest, Van Fleet rest. Fade the Picks guy says Rockets are trash. There's no doubt that they're trash, but I can understand making moves on the Rockets here. The Raptors have very little to play for. I mean, are they going to smash this team? I mean, take it away, Wham Bam. Rockets, Raptors.
Such an interesting game. I can't wait to watch this game. And y'all already know where I'm going with. I'm just trying to see if anybody in the chats knew where we're going with this game. I mean, we've only been talking about this shit for the past 3 weeks. It's Jalen Green, man. We're going back to the well, 24.5 points at minus 104 is what I got. At minus 108 is what you could get right now. So minus 108 for over 24.5 points. And obviously, for obvious reasons, he's been killing, going for 30 points more to tie. I think Allen Iverson did it 6 times, 6 consecutive times. which I just recently found out. I thought it was 5, but it's actually 6 times that Allen Iverson did it back when he was a rookie. So this is Jalen Green's opportunity to do it again, and against a team that actually playing really good defense. The only thing about this defense that the Raptors have been, they have their guys available, so that's going to make a big difference. But even with those guys in the lineup, they're still allowing opponents about I believe it's 14.3-point makes on 39% shooting over the last 5 games. That's all Jalen wants to do. He was the only rookie to have 53-point makes in one calendar month, hitting that record pretty much easy last month, and I believe that's pretty much what you're going to get. I wouldn't be mad at you guys for taking the over 3.5 3-point makes, but obviously it's been juiced because he's been going over that at a crazy rate. I'm just going to go straight with the points here because if he gets fouled, that he's not getting calls. He's not getting any calls. That's why Salah's getting kicked out the damn arena the last game or so. Because he's not getting calls. But I believe that Jalen Green will continue to eat, though, of course, over 24.5 points. You're very close to 30, so I'm not mad at you if you take the 30 as well. It's at plus 239. I'm not mad at that as well, just to get the extra little juice there. Maybe meeting the get a little wiggle room, get the 28, just to be a little bit safer there. So I like the 24.5 points. This is an official play for me for Jalen Green. And as far as the Raptors side, as far as the Rockets side at plus 14.5, where it opened up at, that was the best spot right there. Right now, if you get guys available in the lineup, or if you don't get guys available in the lineup, this maybe even go lower than 11 or 12, I believe you're saying. So I'm all in on the Raptors, though. I would say this for sure. Like, I think the Raptors are going to be definitely a team that no one wants to play because you're obviously getting guys getting called out like for their vaccination card now. So now you know who's been fucking boosted, who's not boosted, and all this other shit. After you get talked into doing a shot once, you probably don't want to do it again. You dig what I'm saying? So that's probably how these guys are thinking here. So no one wants to play the Raptors. I think the Raptors, even for a future look, just to be on some roll the dice type shit, just the same way I did with the Clippers. Roll the dice here with the Raptors to win the East because who wants to play them? A lot of guys might be exposed for not having COVID once they have to play on a road against them. So I think that's just a neither here nor there to spill about this game. But Jalen Green over 24.5 points, official play for me. We're going right back to the well with it until we fall, man. So it's the next game, pencil it in too, bro.
Do you think that Tatum or Brown is unvaxxed?
I think they already came out and said that Brown was, and I believe it was someone else on that team. I'm not sure if it was Tatum. I think Tatum was clear on that. Okay. But I seen Jaylen Brown for sure linked up to that, and that's another. It's just crazy scenarios, man, that you just really can't add in, but you must add in because it's definitely affecting the game.
The Bucks and the Heat are fully vaxxed, so we know that.
Yeah, for sure.
Very, very interesting. They're 20-1 to win the East. I think I'll just bet them game by game on the money line. Absolutely. They're going to be dogs, and I'd feel like that's the better spot personally because to beat the Bucks or the Heat would be very, very difficult. To beat the Celtics in the series,
I don't know about the Heat. The Bucks maybe give you a tough one. I think the Heat, they streaky, bro. They streaky.
Yeah, but they got a bunch of vets on that squad, and Lowry. It'd be a lot of fun. It would be a lot of fun.
For sure.
Let's move on to the next spot, 8 p.m. Eastern. So am I, JPZ. I'm thinking the same thing as you, my guy. Hawks 42-38, 15-24 on the road at Miami Heat, 52-28, 28-12 at home at FTX Arena, Miami, Florida. Atlanta 4-1 over the past 5, 8th in pace at 101.60 possessions a game over that span, while Miami is 5-0, 23rd in pace at 97.90 possessions a game. We have over here. Hawks open up as 4-point dogs. They're now 2-point favorites at some books, 1.5 at others. There's still a 1 out there. Total open up at 229. It's up to 230 and 230 and a half. When we go over to the cash flow here, 6,695 tickets in, 60% of tickets, 81% of cash on the Hawks. Hawks bounce back from their 118-108 loss at Toronto on Tuesday by defeating the Wizards 118-103 at home on at home on Wednesday. Sorry, a lot of numbers today. Hawks went 16-39 from 3. And they're playing a team in the Heat who just went, what did they do from 3? They went crazy from 3.
They went crazy.
Yeah, I don't
Tyler Hero, too.
Oh man, yeah. Hero goes for a career high 35. Duncan Robinson hit 7 threes. I don't have what they did, but it was two teams that are hot from three right now. That was the 6th win in 7 games for the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young went for 30. Gallinari went for 26. And I started calling Bogdanaklit. I started calling Bogdanaklit, and it caught on around the house. So yeah, there's a couple Bogdanaklits in the NBA, and I don't know if that will stick, but it did catch fire the last couple of days. 6 of 9 shooting from 3, old Clit. This is their 3rd game in 4 nights, and that Heat team is rolling. Bam, 22. Butler, 27. Winning games right now. Streaky team winning right now, but do they? Let me pull up the ESPN standings. Do they have any reason to?
As far as the Heat, no. I mean, they're kind of locked in on the best record in the conference. They clinched that, so motivation is questionable.
If that's the case, then who rests, and do we bet the Hawks right now?
Right, that's true, because the Hawks care about this game, because this is a big game for them, and just as much as this Cavs Brooklyn game we was talking about.
Very important. Very important, because the Cavs can fall to 9th.
Right. The Cavs could lose. That's why the Cavs care about this game for sure, and that's why the Brooklyn Nets care about that game too. That's why it's a big game. But this game kind of leans you towards the Hawks. The only issue that I have here with the Heat is just, at what point do we get our guys cohesive enough? They got guys in and out the lineup. And on top of that, the Heat don't really need their starters to be blowing teams out. And they've shown that time and time again. And this Hawks team, obviously, they need to win. And I'm sorry for cutting you off, bro. My fault.
No, I don't know. No, you're good. You're money, man.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, and for the most part, the Hawks defense, man. I mean, are they really gonna give us anything? Are they gonna lock in on that side of the ball to make this as a playoff game? They are ranked 8th in defensive rating over the last 5 games, but at the same time, against a team that against teams that they played that's really good, they kind of seem to fall out and phase out there. I do know that they may be getting John Collins back soon. I'm not sure if he's a game time decision right now or anything, but I know he's coming back shortly from the last few reports that I did monitor. So I know he's coming back soon. As far as Miami, they got guys questionable, but they're not the main guys. They got Yusevin, Caleb, Monte Moore, Markieff Morris, and Gabe Vincent questionable. So, they're not really the main guys that's questionable. The guys that's going to be out there are going to be Jimmy Butler, Bam, Tyler, and Kyle. Those guys are going to be out there. So I think the Miami Heat probably is a good spot here. This is a tricky game though, because they can't just rest guys. Just drop a hat. You know what I mean? Like, this is a game, like, why would we care? Why would we risk an injury? You know what I mean? Like, why would you even risk it? So it's a tough game to be capping, I think, right now at least. But until we get it confirmed.
I got to get on the Hawks as soon as possible. As soon as possible.
I feel you.
I didn't read, like, I was just too caught up in baseball. I should be on them already. I got to get on the Hawks as soon as possible. I'm going to bet them as soon as I can.
No, I feel you. I feel that. And I understand exactly why, because you're going to see a 6 once those guys get about. You're going to see a 6 for the Hawks, even them being on the road. So, yeah, man, I can see that for sure. It's just that I don't want to jump on that, especially I got action on this next game too. So I'm just like, I must just stay away from this game. As of right now.
Let's move on to 8 p.m. I'm going to move on the Hawks as soon as I can. We'll move on 8 p.m. Eastern. Charlotte Hornets 41-39, 20-20 on the road. Chicago Bulls 45-35, 27-13 at home. Right, United Center in Chicago, Illinois. The spread was so big in that Hornets game, but why was I not on it? When I was watching, I was like, just leaving money on the table. But this is a much different situation. The Bulls don't have to do anything, but Levine is not comfortable with where they stand. He said, quote unquote, we got to get back on track. We're not looking like the same team we were earlier, and that's upsetting. We got a certain amount of time before it gets real. Still, I don't know if I fully believe it because they have no reason to do anything. But Bruce Hayward says Bulls smash spot. I bet them earlier this morning on the money line. If they win, they lock their seeding in for the playoffs. Levine is back in the lineup tonight. Hornets on the back-to-back, can't trust them. So, because, at this point, I guess so. If they lose their next 2 games, Cavs could tie them. I see that as impossible.
Right.
Their spot. I hear what you're saying, Bruce, but I think their spot is completely locked right now. And the thing is, do you trust what Levine's saying? This opened up -2.5. There's the first threes on the board at PointsBet. The total opened up at 227.5. It's shot all the way up to 234 or 234.5. So flying upwards. We go over to the cash here. We have 67% of the tickets, 94% of the cash on the Bulls. So people believing in that. And the Hornets, see, they actually do have to win here, or even that. Maybe they're just stuck. Maybe they expect the Hawks and the Nets to win, and maybe they're just stuck in that 10th seed. Maybe questionable motivation. And to sit here and for me to say both these teams are going to try their hardest to try and win this game, I can't say that. Even though I get it from a standings perspective, you could make that argument, but I'm not fully on that side. Hornets on the second half of back-to-back after snapping their 2-game losing streak last night in the dominant 128-101 win at home over the Magic. It was funny. They allowed 144 points or whatever back-to-back nights, and I was like, Borrego, no coach in the world would let your team play like this. They're going to try to shut down the Magic and slow the pace down, and I should have trusted that. Team total under for the Magic. No Gordon Hayward because of ankle soreness, and he's not going to be in the lineup here. And Montrezl Harrell could be suspended. I don't know if he's going to be suspended. Bulls coming off their third straight loss. He was kicked out in the fourth quarter, and I didn't see it, so I don't.
I didn't see that either.
Bulls coming off their third straight loss, lopsided home loss, 117-94 to the Dogs. They've lost all three by at least 18 points. Take it away here, Bam. Hornets, Bulls.
Yeah, man. Bulls won and covered last two meetings for the season. They've been covering against this team as well. So it's last 5 games, won and covered the last 5 games, and they've been matched up with this team. As far as the motivation, like you mentioned, man, it's kind of like up in the air. Do you really trust the Bulls right now? And this is not one of those teams that we're saying that they, even though they're above 500, this is not one of the teams that I would say that, the Bulls, they're definitely not going to be able to beat, because this team is just another superior team. Like, no, the Hornets really isn't. The defense has just been terrible. They've been talking about it for the past few games as far as how bad their defense is. The Hornets haven't been able to do anything about it. So I don't know. I mean, especially against a team. I mean, you could say that this is a contending team. They have been showing a bad side of that. So as far as the Bulls, though, neither here nor there with their motivation. Let's just say that they are motivated in this game. How good are their defense is going to be either way, if they're motivated or not. I mean, they're still allowing 119 points over the last 5 games. They should be motivated at least last 5 games as much as they should be motivated tonight. So I think they will be giving up points in this game. And the reason why I think that is because, they just have been so far. So it's at 234. I'm not going to take the actual total, full game total, just because if the Hornets just fall flat on their ass, I know one guy on their team is probably not. It's probably going to be LaMelo Ball, and then another guy is going to be Miles Bridges. I'm thinking Miles Bridges is the better matchup out of the two here today. And Miles Bridges over 20.5 points at -110. Hits 5 of the last 6 games. I think that's a good spot for me to be able to attack. So I did lock that in as an official play for me. But as far as the side for the Hornets, I don't trust them just as much as I don't trust the Bulls' motivation today. So I think it's more of an even matchup. I know these guys wish they was playing each other in the playoffs. That way, it'd be more of an even matchup. But both of these teams, I think, are going to be losing early on. Obviously, the Hornets maybe not even make the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs. I would say that clear as day. I don't think they're going to be able to make the playoffs. But the Bulls here, I think they're just as bad and playing just as bad as of late. So both of these teams would be considered backwoods if I was, if I didn't have a look here on the prop. But I like the prop here. So I'm going to take Miles Bridges over 20.5 points. I like that a lot.
And what was the juice?
It's at -110.
-110. You are locked in. And Dan Kelly saying, yeah, Bulls are locked in the 6th. This game and next do not matter. Charlotte can move up. Yeah. And they got to think that the Nets and the Hawks are going to win tonight. And so I don't want anything to do with this game. It makes me uncomfortable. And this next game is also awful. Although some great stuff from Joe Yurkovich yesterday in the chat talking about how the Blazers were actually not a bad first quarter team. And they covered that first quarter yesterday with ease and then, lose by 30. And he was talking about how the Pelicans are one of the worst first quarter teams. It was great stuff, Joe. And I wish I'd have bet it because I do love the big dogs in the first quarter. But this is a mess. Blazers, Mavericks, 27-53, 10-30 on the road are these Blazers. We're at American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. Portland 0-5. Obviously, they've lost 9 straight. 0-5 over the past 5, 27th in pace, 97 possessions a game. Dallas 4-1, last in pace at 96.40 possessions a game. Yes, they're last in pace, but their pace has sped up. The whole NBA's pace has sped up over the last week and a half. And Dallas is 30th, but their pace has gone up 5 possessions a game, and they still haven't escaped the cellar. Both the Jazz and the Mavericks were like 91, 92 possessions a game, and now Dallas is up to 96.4 possessions a game. We have Dallas opening up as 18.5-point favorites. Now they're 19.5-point favorites. Who bets a 19.5-point favorite? The total opens up at 221.5, and it's now at 220.5 or 220. There is a 219.5 on the board. When we go over to the cash flow here, 5,686 tickets in. 30% of the tickets, 88% of the cash on Portland. Portland on the second half of back-to-back after losing their 9th straight, 127-94 at the Pelicans. And Drew Eubanks, the price is right. Come on down. Here's your opportunity. Enjoy it. It is not going to last long. 15 straight games with double-figure points, 20 or more 5 times, and good for you, Drew. He was traded to the Raptors, and you know, we like projects, but he didn't want you, Drew. He went 9 for 11 against the Pelicans. You know, and good for him. I'm happy for him. You know, Dallas comes in off their second straight win, 131-113 on the Pistons on Wednesday night. One more win to clinch 4th spot in the West, and they've kept their hopes alive of catching the Warriors. Take it away here, Wham Bam, Blazers, Mavericks.
Yeah, man, you said it earlier, bro. This is a 1-800-GAMBLER game, bro. This is definitely it. Wrote it down right before I started capping this game. But the more I look at it, and I heard a lot of guys talk about the under as well with Portland, and they have been hitting 4 of the last 5 games. So I want to look into it a little bit more. The Mavs did 1 and cover these last 3 meetings. So it's pretty much you just look at towards the Denver Dallas to continue with that winning, maybe not covering because it's a big spread, but the Portland has really just focused on losing. Obviously, they're ranked dead last in net rating. Both defense is both pace are bottom 5, just like you mentioned. So that kind of leans towards the under, and then you lean towards the under just based off of the Portland side not caring about scoring as well. You don't have Drew Banks. I mean, who are the other guys out there? We don't know these characters. They're really fighting for the position. In the play. In the NBA. And they just falling flat on their ass. But this Dallas team, bro, I mean, the over has hit 9 out of the last 10 meetings, and they have went over 5 of their last games. And I think a lot of that has to do with what you just said. Like their defense, I mean, their pace has been kind of creeped up a little bit. You know, they're doing a little bit more one and dones in their offensive set. So that kind of would increase the pace there. So I think you may be talking me off the under, because that's what I was thinking here. But it's a tough game, man. And honestly, this is definitely a game that I already thought I was just going to pass up on. But the more I'm starting to look towards the end of this card, and especially with all the line movements, the way that today is, this is one of those games that you could kind of see it clear as day. This is a fucking under. You know what I mean? Like you can see it clear as day as an under, and it goes fucking flying all the way over. And I can see this happening. That's probably why I would stay away from this game, because I'm scared. But and I think you said a lot that kind of makes me that I didn't have written down as far as the difference between the pace within the last few weeks here. So I think that may be keep me away from the under. But I did like the under in this game. Well, probably won't be betting it, though.
I'll tell you what, Wham. If I saw the 27th ranked team in pace over the last 5 games against the 30th ranked team in pace and a total at 220, I would hammer the under.
That's what I'm saying.
But 97 possessions and 96.40 possessions means if this was 2 weeks ago, they'd be like 20th, 19th and 20th in pace, 18th and 19th in pace. So, now Joe Jurgovich is on the Blazers first quarter plus 6.5 minus 110. I do find that interesting, but it doesn't make me comfortable at all.
JPZ said I need to go to church because I'm scared. But listen, JPZ, you think about it. I'm asking the Blazers to play defense, dog. And of course I'm going to go to church with that shit. And then on top of that, bro, Dallas haven't been that good defensively either. Like 28th in defensive rating last 5 games.
I'm going to build my own church. Build my own church, man, right here with the pigeons. I'm gonna build my own church and worry
Got the
about it. 'Cause
altar right there.
I get scared too, man. I don't get scared. Money don't make money. Look, I'm trying to
Hey, that's true.
gamble and improve my family's life.
Right. This
I'm
is
gonna be scared
1-800 gambler game,
I'm
dog.
gonna be scared all the fuck I want. All right. 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Phoenix Suns 63-17, 31-9 on the road. Utah Jazz 48-32, 29-11 at home. Vivint Arena, Salt Lake City, Utah. Phoenix 2-3 over the past 5 second in pace, 105.1 possessions a game, while Utah's 3-2, 28th in pace at 96.88 possessions a game. The Suns open up as 3.5-point dogs, moves to 2.5. This total opens up at 227.5, and it's up to 228 and 228.5. Both the Jazz and the Suns are resting players consistently down the stretch. Let's see if the Jazz have any reason to fight here. They do, sort of. I mean,
Kind of, yeah. You can say that.
it's just like pick your poison. I mean, do you want to? You win tonight's game, then you have Jazz, then you have Mavericks or Warriors, and if you lose, you have Mavericks or Warriors. I mean, I don't know. Do they have any reason? I don't know. You'd have to ask Snyder, old crazy eye Snyder. Jazz coming off their second straight win, 137-101 at home over the Thunder. They did that without Mitchell, Conley, and Royce O'Neal. 2 games left. They've clinched the playoff berth. They're in the number 5 spot. They're 2 games behind Dallas, 1 game ahead of Denver. And Bogdanovich, 27 points. And Jared Butler also looked good. 3 for 13, but he had 10 assists. Daniel House, 14 points. Rudy Gay, 12-8. 3 assists, 2 blocks. Gobert, 20-10. Whiteside, 15-11-5. Jordan Clarkson, 18-10. Suns coming off their 3rd loss in 4 games, 113-109. The Clippers on Wednesday night. They were down 39, and they came all the way back. They put up 48 points in the 4th quarter, lose by 4. It was just such a wild game because we realized that the Clippers were the spot, but the market had moved so much that if I wanted in, I would have to take Clippers at, I think it was 5.5 or 6. And when I was watching it, I was like, oh, man, leaving money on the table. And then, of course, the Suns put up 48 points in the 4th quarter. That's the type of game. That's the type of game that makes you go for a long walk down to the pier and maybe not come back
and shoot someone.
Just
for saying some crazy shit, you know.
No, we're Canadians. So
I'm just saying, yeah. We're gonna walk around and just get somebody a hug, or
no, we just take a dip in the lake and don't come out. That's what we do.
Oh wow.
Wainwright 20 points. Ish goes for 20 points. Bismack 14 and 12. Aaron Holiday 16. It's very confusing. We know the Hawks are a bet here to me. Like I know the Hawks are a bet. I just want to bet them, but I can't figure out which teams actually care. Even the ones that, if you look at the standings, maybe they care. I don't know. Take it away, Suns, Jazz.
Yeah, man. I'm still laughing at the walk in the water, bro. Yeah, man. Important to see both of these benches have been cooking, so you know that is kind of sick. But man, the Suns showing hella grit, bro. Coming back 41 deficit, to only lose by 4 points, bro. Come on, man. Like I gotta probably look towards the Suns having a better bench here. Jazz doesn't have any defense. I just don't like their defense. Even though you're gonna look at the season defensive numbers, and they're probably gonna average it out that they were at middle of the pack defense, just like this Suns team. I think both of these guys are allowing opponents 107 points in the last 5. I'm sorry, for the season here. My apologies for the season. Yeah, 107 points for both of these teams, 9th and 10th in that same regard. The best part about this is that you're going to get the better coach. But, I mean, Quinn Snyder's not that bad of a coach. He's just crazy as hell, crazy eyes, like you mentioned. Look weird as hell. You know, that's probably what I'm alluding to here. Yeah. But, no, I just think that the Suns, if you're betting this game, you're betting who has the better bench. I think the Suns have the better bench. I honestly would say they have the better coach. You know, he should have got coach last year. That way my boy could get the nurse this one year. That would have been nice, but neither here nor there. I just think that Utah Jazz, defensive-wise, is going to be a fade, bro. So I'm thinking here, if I had a free play here, I'm thinking Suns early, and then I'm also going to probably take the team total over for the Suns just because I believe it may be points scored in this game. The defense is going to rely on a lot of the second-tier guys, Whiteside and fucking, JaVale McGee out there and shit. Not really worried about those guys stopping anybody down low or trying to be Rudy Gobert or DeAndre Ayton, even though DeAndre Ayton or Rudy Gobert, they ain't that much to say for anyway in this day and age NBA. So I like the threes to fly for the Suns in this game. And obviously the Jazz continue to play Clarkson. I think 3 guys had a double-double in the last game for the Jazz. That was very interesting to see. Props may be looking good in this game. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be having any action on this game, but I think I may be looking at some of these props enticed with some of the numbers that be set there. But shout out to the chat, bro. Shout out the Sammy. Sammy says, Snyder loves the white girl. You know he is, bro. He out there looking straight. He looking straight as fuck.
Yeah. That's some real funny stuff from the chat. Puzzler says casual homicides less popular up here. Billy Friedrich is calling him Quinn American Psycho Snyder. Crystal Warren says they Canadian. They drink a bottle of maple syrup, chop down a tree. I do live in the city. The only trees around here, have homeless people sleeping at the bottom of them.
Right.
So don't touch the tree. I say that all the time to my kids. Don't touch that tree. All right.
But it's crumbled up.
Look, I've hit 10 of 11 in NBA. The Hawks are screaming at me. Do I want to add Blazers first quarter plus 6.5 and the under 232.5 in the Brooklyn Nets game?
Tough, bro.
No, just take the Hawks and keep the streak. So,
right.
Piker says the only issue with Canada is the pigeons. No, it's the Canadian geese. They shit all over the place. All they do is shit all over. Every park's full of goose shit. The lakes are all full of shit. You can't even put your foot in the water of these lakes because it's all. So no, that's the biggest problem. Not the pigeons. I mean, the pigeons are a problem, but the Canadian geese, they're the fucking problem. Last game on the card, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Oklahoma City Thunder, 24-56, 12-27 on the road. At the LA Lakers, 31-49, 20-20 at home. Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California. Look, I'm trying to move south. I'm working on moving south. Trying to get us to move south. Look, I got sirens nonstop. I got every window closed, and all I hear is sirens nonstop. Got to get me out of Parkdale. Please get me out of Parkdale. Somebody help get my family out of Park. Oklahoma 2-3 over their past 5, 14th in pace at 99.8 possessions a game, while the Lakers are 0-5, 4th in pace at 103.40 possessions a game. The Lakers open up as 9-point favorites. 9-point favorites.
Crazy as fuck.
Who are you playing? Who are you playing? The Chechnyan basketball team? Who are you playing that the Lakers could be 9-point favorites? It's down to 4.5. Total opens up at 228. It's now down to 227 or 227.5. Rodney Barton says move to Virginia. We'll go bet horses every weekend. Sounds good to me, man. Right. Lou Chase Fox says we're trying. Thank you. Thank you.
Said we're trying.
Yeah, he's trying. He's trying. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Piker says get Jimmy out of Parkdale shirts. I like that. I think we can work with that.
Hashtag Bale Parkdale.
Yeah, no, I think we can work with that. Rob Free says Bulls beat up on kids and lose to men. I've never heard it quite like that. That's a shirt. There's a T-shirt for Chicago fans. Well. Jared TG says you're welcome to Tennessee. Nothing but trees and mountains around here. I think I would prefer Vegas.
Yeah.
But I want to just get out of Parkdale first and foremost. Thunder had their 2-game winning streak snapped in 137-101 loss at Utah Wednesday night. I just read 2-game winning streak and I had to stop and make sure that was right. But it is
right
somehow.
They have
4,917 tickets in, 64% of the tickets on the Thunder and 26% of the cash. Just Taylor Horton's family is betting heavy on the Lakers, I guess. Shea hasn't played since March 21st. Giddey hasn't played since February 24th. Both are shut down for the year. Lakers coming off their 8th straight loss, 128-112 at Golden State on Thursday night. Dutch confidently gave out the Warriors yesterday on the show. The Lakers, no LeBron, no AD, no Westbrook, no Carmelo Anthony, and Taylor Horton Tucker goes for 40. And it was nice to see. And James and Davis played 21 games together this year. Did you know that? They played 21 games together?
Crazy.
Do you know the stat?
Crazy.
Do you know the stat? What do you think their win-loss was with both James and AD on the floor together? 21 games.
They won 6 games. Right.
It's better than that. It's better. God, you guys hate your team so
6
much.
Games.
It's been so sad. All the Laker fans, you guys just despise these guys now. No, they went 11-10. They were over.
Oh wow! Wow.
Yeah. So who would have thought Alex Caruso would be in such a big part of the
puzzle? How many of those were overtimes?
And then they're like, "Don't worry. We're bringing in Trevor Ariza. Our defense will be fine." Oh my god. Take it away here, Bam. Last game on the card, Thunder Lakers.
Yeah, we got Rondo, the locksmith, out there. He's out there holding it down. Yeah, man, it sucks, bro. Lakers suck. And I've been saying that for quite a while. And I bet on them as well. And I got again. They got me again. So I mean, this spot, You know what's fucked up though? Because I'm thinking, man, I wanted to take the OKC Thunder, and I didn't see the 9. I didn't see the 9. I had it at 7 when it opened up in my book. So I'm like, if I would have seen the 9, I would have hopped on it. But the 7, I'm like, they probably do some bullshit and have AD play in this game. And all right, man, let me just stay away from this. But those guys have been shut down. It seems. It seems like LeBron has already been announced he's done for the season, and AD it's questionable. So he's questionable. So he may be playing in this game. So that's the only reason why they should be laying anything in this game. But bro, OKC, they already beat us, with a terrible roster already, twice this year. I mean, the first one was obviously with Shea. They beat us without Shea too. So yeah, man, this sucks, bro. This sucks, and this is pain. And I hate that I have to talk about the Lakers one more time before the end of the season. This is the last time I'm talking on the show with you with the Lakers. So I will ask you. I told you when we was in San Antonio. Whenever you like the Lakers, I will tend to follow you. I will follow you to the Raptor here. I'm thinking Thunder here, bro. I'm thinking Thunder here. I think the Thunder just wins this game. We suck. They actually have won 2 of their last 3 games. They only lost to they lost to Utah Jazz. So maybe they don't care about the picks that they have. They have a lot of picks. Maybe they keyed in on the guys that they want already. They don't care about the top picks. I can see them winning this game, man. So I hate the Lakers right now, bro. And chat, yeah, man. I'm glad y'all having fun here. Sam, I am, yeah, bro. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I know my guy, Dennis Garcia. I know he watched this, bro. He was like, he feel it. He feel my pain because we were believing in the Lakers this year, but no, they suck ass. And shout out to Chill Will, man. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I need to take another backwood, but this is not a backwood, bro. This is I think this is a Thunder spot. I think this is a Thunder spot. To be honest with you, I don't want to touch the Lakers. Fucking THT get fucking 41 points, bro. Come on, man. Type of shit is that, man? Fuck that motherfucker too, bro. Damn.
it's sad. This fall. I lost. My best for sure. But my whole season really turned around with the Lakers. But I lost that first game of the year. I bet on Lakers. I was like, they're going to show something. Everybody talking about how old they are. And then I never made that mistake again. It was only when everybody would have given up on them. And everyone's like, they left them for dead. And they're like 9-point dogs. I would take them first quarter, first half. Dennis Garcia says, my Laker win total under 52.5 cashed in February.
Nice.
And then he says, run it back, Lakers.
Now they will. They will run it back.
And then Jay Peasy saying... he's saying impressive mansions that remind onlookers that Parkdale was once Toronto's wealthiest district. So there are all these big houses, right? All these big houses, but they're all chopped up into little tiny rooms, right? And a lot of them are halfway houses here. But you're right. There are all these weird big houses all over the place, but it's not like a family lives in that house.
Right.
There's no benzo in front of the house. There's a few bikes. With tires stolen.
Oh shit!
It's just he says that Google says Parkdale's a glorious neighborhood. Yeah, it's my girl was born and raised here, so
okay,
that makes it a little easier. Like look, Parkdale has only been good to us. Never been jacked or robbed or anything. I'm not scared to go to the store or nothing like that. And the hookers are gone. The hookers have been gone for maybe 7 years. There used to be a ton of hookers,
bro.
Yeah, we want the hookers gone. It's helpful.
Okay.
It's helpful.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're raising a family here.
I'm raising a family. Yeah, no, it's helpful that the hookers are gone. And we had a crack dealer on our first floor of our apartment building, and we got him out. It took a long time to get him out.
Y'all snitched on him. Y'all snitched on a man out here trying to provide for his family. Yeah,
I did. I'm
joking.
No, I snitched on him. Not to the cops, just to the housing. I was like, we can't, because we have 10 people throwing little pebbles at his window because it was right by the garage.
I'm joking. You don't gotta go to sleep.
I did. It was me.
Yes, you should.
If he's watching right now, it was me. I needed him to fuck out of our apartment building. I'm trying to have a young family in this motherfucker. Get out. Get the fuck out.
That's right.
But we have a crack house right behind us. Right. So we have a school. We have a crack house right behind us. Look, that's at least there's a laneway that separates the
Is
crack
it really
house.
crack though? Or is it crystal meth? Because I mean, as much as I'm seeing out there in the streets, it's a pookie pipe, but I think
It's
it's
a cookie,
crystal
but
meth in there.
it's a good question. I haven't asked. I haven't asked. I haven't not.
Stop judging. Stop labeling, Jimmy. That's not right.
No, you're right. You're right. I know that there's hot pipes, hot glass pipes all over the place. Real hot, burning holes in pockets. I know
Black
that.
spots in them, huh? Shit.
I know that. Boston Knicks.
Yeah,
says,
so the Lakers.
Oh. I'm sorry. This show's been on for 3 hours and 20 minutes. I'm losing my mind in this spot. Yeah, you want to move on the Thunder?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna pass, bro. I'm probably gonna pass, especially after the crack pipes reference here to the Lakers. But honestly, though, I think I may. AD gets announced in. I take the 2.5 if it gets to 2. Even pick them at the OKC. I just think they'll win the game, but I gotta wait to see AD. But that's the way I'm looking here. It's not a bet I made, so don't hold it too much there. But shout out to everybody in the chat. They love that segment that we just gave them there.
Well, Rob says, tell Jimmy what happens in LA when people tell.
No, not at
look,
all. Nothing happens.
It.
Nothing happens to people when you tell out here, bro.
But
they do all the telling out here. They snitch all the time out here. This shit started out here, really. I would say.
Look, they had to bring a security guard in. He was not pleased that he was getting the boot out of the apartment building. Look, I get it, and but I could not handle it anymore. I couldn't walk into my front door of my apartment building without 4 or 5 people trying to get in with me. I couldn't handle it, and so I got people to sign shit, and I sent it into the housing place, and I said, "Get them the fuck out of here."
I will sign anything you bring to me, brother. I will sign anything. If you came to my doorstep and you'd ask me to sign it, you know what? Yes, young man. It's nothing.
Okay. All right. Now I'm a snitch, man. This is no good. No. This is not how I wanted the show to end.
Hey, I didn't even read this.
No, it's fine. We got him out, and now I can walk safely.
That's what happens when we talk to Lakers, y'all.
Fuck the Lakers. Let's just put a bow on this bitch. Okay. All right, let's review NBA action. G Martinez says those stitches are coming. Well, Crypto is just calling me a snitch. Okay. Look, thank God we got him out, man. I'm telling you. Sure. Piker says he'll see me in the trash fire later. Jimmy the Bag turns Jimmy the snitch.
Stop it, y'all. Stop it. Oh, I'm not gonna take this shit too low, bro. Y'all leave the homie alone, bro. Trying to raise a family, man.
I had to get the dealer out of our apartment building. I had to get him out of the apartment building. We couldn't. We could not move forward as an apartment building with him slanging on the first floor of our apartment building.
Nasty. They say they'll say they.
Okay. All right. Well, this was an interesting ending. Ending. Okay. Let's review action here. Bucks Pistons, no action. Wizards team told over is not going to happen without Small Dick Zingas on the floor. Wham has got a Darius Garland double-double at -120. I have interest in the under 232.5 interest.
I also took the 9.5 assists as well. I just didn't make that official because it's the same thing.
No, I feel you. Jalen Green over 24.5 points at -108. And I want to bet the Hawks as soon as possible. Miles Bridges over 20.5 points at -110 for Wham. I understand the idea on the Blazers first quarter, but I don't think I can do that. Suns Jazz, no action, and Lakers Thunder, no action. JPZ says, good thing drug dealers don't gamble. Oh, they gamble. They gamble. They gamble. Trust me, they gamble.
And they do meth too, bro. They do meth too.
Those are the worst. Those are the worst dealers. You want your dealer to be clean. There's LJ from H-Town in the house. Wham, thank you so much for being so patient with us. Very long show. You're going to be in business in an hour and 33 minutes on NBA Pub Hub. Thank you for sharing all your hard work with us, my man. Have a profitable evening. And next time we see each other will be Tuesday. And I don't even know.
Baby. Is that the play-in? We'll be locked in on real meaningful basketball. So
beautiful.
This is over.
Thank you so much. This will be a show I do remember. Yeah.
All right, bro. Appreciate you guys in the chat, man. Thank you guys. See you guys at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
There he is, Wham Bam in the house. Joe said, "Did you snitch on the hookers too?" No. Actually, because I moved back here, they were pretty much gone when I got back here from Vancouver. Maybe, yeah, they were pretty much gone when I got back here from Vancouver. There we go. Let's. It's gonna stick with me. It's gonna stick with me. That's fine. Let's move. Review action all together here. Sabres plus 1.5 at plus 155 for Bobano on the over 7 in Buffalo, Florida, and the Sabres team total over 2.5 at plus 110. The Islanders, Hurricanes, no action. Bobano's on the over 6 in Minnesota, St. Louis, and he's on the over 6 in Colorado, Winnipeg, and the Jets first period at plus 137. Then in baseball, Bobano's on the Red Sox first 5. Did he catch that? Is that no 3-3 right now, man? And he's on them full game at plus 156. Bobano's on the over 4 at plus 100 in White Sox Tigers. First 5 over 4. And that was looking like he was going to catch that. Is he going to 3-0 right now, top in the 4? So that will, and 2 out. So that'll come down to the last minute. Brewers -1. Thank God that got cut. Oakland, Philadelphia, nothing. We got the Rays game starting in 40 minutes. So I'm going to be there. Bobano, I'm not sure exactly if I'm going to take the team total over or the full game over. And then we have Bobano on Baltimore, Tampa over 7.5. Dodgers, Rockies, nothing for me. Bobano on the Twins, team total over 3.5. I'm interested in that and the first 5. So it's going to take a little bit more time. First 5 under Miami, San Francisco, I get, but I don't like the line of being offered. So I'm not sure if I'll pull the trigger, but I'm going to pull the trigger on Mets -1. Bobano's on the over 9 in Texas, Toronto. Maybe we're getting a price cut on the Blue Jays offense. Maybe. Reds, Braves, no action. Astros, Angels, no action. I'm going to move on the Diamondbacks first 5 at plus money. And then we've already gone over the NBA action. And Mike M says AD and street closed today. Official. This was a long one, 3 hours and 26 minutes. Thank you guys so much for all of your support, man. We have nothing without you guys. I truly mean that. Boston Nick in the chat. Sam, I am. Real Deal Prime, Mike M, AOD. Lil Domo is on Rays team total over 4. I'm interested in that as well. Lil Domo. Billy Friedrich. No something. Oh, no. The grilled cheese. I got so much shit following me over the last little while, man. Nut Flush, Jared TD, Joe Yurkovich. Love having Joe in the chat. Chill Will, Mike M, Lou Chase Fox, Talk Sports with JT, Sammy, Christopher Comatini, Piker, LJ from H-Town, Crystal Warren, Crypto-ish. Thank you guys. G Martinez, Nasty Nate. Respect. Love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. See you guys next weekend. Next week. NBA playoffs will be here. We're almost at NHL playoffs and baseball in full swing. But most importantly, thank you for supporting us here at Pub Sports Radio. Thank you to my producer, Jose Bouquet, and from Jeff Slaughter and all of us at Pub Sports Radio. Let's get the fucking paper. Leche. Hey, los bookmakers.